Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, any sound a day. It's a beautiful afternoon. Namion Sai, Usaya Day. And as usual, we tell Papa God thank you, we tell the Creator thank you, we tell the Almighty thank you for life. We were there, we say Alhamdulillah, we tell God thank you for where we still there alive. And every time you get chance, it's another day for make things right. It's another day to do good things. It's another day for try for improve mankind, improve the people around you, improve the things around you, help other people. Life is not always about us, but it's about our fellow brothers and sisters. It's about our neighbors. It's about our opposition, the one way then at a different side. We embrace with differences and life go before. This is a social media review, and my name is Fadima. Today, on the 14th of November 2021. And as usual, I get with me again today, we honorary professor, Mr. Kutubu Koroma. When, like I can always say, I don't get no permanent friend. I don't have no permanent enemy. I call the issues like I see it. It's all about the person who gets a lot of knowledge about Sierra Leone politics and the history of Sierra Leone politics. So we welcome another show, and also my able body, my professor, my attorney at law, a defense attorney over 40 years. He don't practice law in America, and he's in North Carolina with his family. Himself, they give him own time. We volunteer, we time them. We are not getting paid because this is the law of Sierra Leone. That's why we're sitting here day by day for all we governments accountable, for encourage them who side they do well, and for call out who side they not they do well, for let them able do better, because we the citizens of Sierra Leone, we deserve better. We the citizens of Sierra Leone, we want more. We not go born papo, we mama them born papo, mama born Pekin, Pekin born camp papo, the Pekin say born Pekin, grand Pekin born papo, tego po. Less life. We not live quality life, we not get good environment, we not get good stuff. This is why we sit here day after day for try for hold the government accountable, because if a government come in and say, I want to do this, I can do this, then no say, nah, not so picking load and a big team for one government, but if they can say, Sierra Leoneans say, una give me chance, la cande we get for all them. It is our right, it is our country. Now we give them the mandate and we get for accounts to we. So we see in the thing when they talk of accountability, when this president come, when President Madabio come, President Madabio say he is all about accountability, transparency, and they can't for fight corruption, and they can't for can see. But we main topic for today, we get 2-3 things that we want to much fun. First, we want to talk on the aftermath of this big disaster what happened, and to the families that are mourning. You know, we pray for them, let God comfort them, let God be their strength for overcome this. The picking the way they don't left behind, we don't get papa, we don't get mama again, you know, we don't left them, and the bad parties, with governments, they don't get things in place where they will claim benefits, social security, team they will go able to sustain this family in life where they don't lose the breadwinner. We also get the one that where they fed for their life inside our hospital right now, where we will work much and small. We also get the one that we don't die. Let God give them the highest of heaven. Let God give them heaven for nothing. Because some people, even though some people cry saying a lawlessness, even the president say lawlessness. Yes, lawlessness in a freedom. Yes, lawlessness in a Salone. But some people were minding their business, going where they go. And because we don't get things in place, and because we don't get guidance in place, and things that way for protect with people there. You know, that's why we have such disasters. Accidents do happen, but sometimes they think can happen. And then we go done. We done the quick one. We go now to the big case within our social media right now. Lara Taylor Pierce, now the Auditor General, where they make all them money them. I will explain Lara and work in a little bit for Lara to understand what in Lara own job mean, and what thing happen, and what thing the noise on social media where they go on right now. What we done there, if time permit, one country disciplines add in business, because Professor just did a show one-on-one with Kutubu Koroma every Sunday. They get a guest before we all show. they do one-on-one, and he gets a guest, Mr. Manzarek, and they talk on the in the infighting of SLPP, all this stuff will go on inside SLPP. But we see now the social media a guy, what they call Don Pope, died. He was well, not allegedly, because the report from the hospital say he was shot, now gunshot wound killer. So we get for talk on that day, and we get for waiting for say, and then we get for discuss on it here, so because people's lives matter, life matter. It not matter if you're not the boy, it not matter if you're not the president. Every Sierra Leonean, everybody is their innate right for be able to live freely and do the things and conform to society and do the things where they keep peace and able for provide for themselves, for let them able survive and thrive to the maximum potential. But let's bring Mr. Shilon in and Professor, let them tell una adu, then we will go to the thing. But meanwhile, please share. Una share with una company them, una share with una group them, una just share everybody that's live right now. Please do me a favor and just push that share button, copy the link, put on our WhatsApp group, then put on our page that we can discuss. Because this is about Sierra Leone. This is about how we go before. This is about the reason why we all don't stuck and people can't see them. This is about the reason we get for fix Salone. We get for fix Salone, but let we go quick to we guess them. Let them tell una, we host them, let them tell una do, then we will come back, we can begin the show. So, Mr. Shilon, sir, okay.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're in the world. Nice for people tonight again. As soon as you hear Miss Fadima, don't tell una what will be the topics of today. We'll get multiple topics, and these are all trending issues in Sierra Leone. We know say una way to call and listen to the show are very much interested in using this medium as part of voicing on a disagreement, voicing on our opinion, and voicing on a suggestion, to whatever extent it may be heard. So that said, I hope at the end of the day, as usual, the intent of this show is for we to maintain what we call mutual, respectful discussions, all in the interest of Sierra Leone. We now get partisan issues, but in the process of talking about Sierra Leone, it's hard to talk about Sierra Leone without sometimes mentioning the major players in the politics of the country. So if one condemns activities or actions by any political party or the individual members or membership, don't take it personally as if we are pro or against. It's a matter of calling the shot as we see it. So we don't want to call a spade a spade. When we see a spade, we want to call and shovel, because that's what it is. So that's all we do. So please, and if we not get any disagreement with anything we say, your turn will come. You can call in. You can express your exception to what you will say, and we will move on. So I hope at the end of the day, or at the end of the show, we'll all go out, learn something for each other. So nice to be back again. Yeah, Professor, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. Glad for coming back again for the second time, for joining a very wonderful program. At the end of this program, I get a very serious warning. Why I get for some today plagiarists. Then people then lazy academic. They want. Then they get all the title, but they don't want to work for that. They take people work, then they pull them as if they get them. I don't become a victim of that. I don't see me work them. But they know they credit them to me. They not even they ask me permission. And actually that plagiarism we do that academic fraud. And this America that's not acceptable. If you then at school you do that, they will expel you for that. If you think say me work is so much that you want them, ask me permission. But at the same time, I only left for accuse me, say me left for 12 big English. When I did say big English, when I take when they go copy as if no. So when the program now left for warn people them against the plagiarism. So with that, back to the colleagues then.
Thank you so much, Professor. With people that we see what thing happen in Wellington last Friday. And again, like I say, we dey give condolences, we dey pray for the families that have lost their loved ones. We all dey mourn with una. We all say boku boku osh to we people them. And we talked last week on waiting they cause them team they yasu. And Amigo again he echoed this one say it was safety versus survival for me. When I look at the video, that's what I saw. Yes, we people they're lawless. Yes, they not for do this, but who don't want for die? Who don't want for go where is see saying a danger that they go put in life? But if person put in life, that shows how desperate to me, as I will interpret it, the person be. Because na desperation, na they cause that. And like I've been saying, I've been there with a lady in show Rachel when I doing show on Thursday, and he asked the question, say, well, if not been gentleman picking them, if not been gentleman picking them area, then they go one go there. No, they not go one go there because all thing fine for them are old. They go one away from it, but those people run towards it. And we talk of the things that we not get where they in place for save lives. But we see last Thursday, the Minister of Information and Broadcasting, now their websites, they do a press conference. The press conference being gets the Minister of Health, then the emergency system, people them women did it. And what I'm not gonna lie to you now, I was pleased. I was pleased after the fact. I was pleased because they look like they had a command center now. They look like things are flowing in according to the description. They get a contingency plan. They get everything like when they don't put up. But the problem I had about that was, they said they get a number 1199. That 1199 day, the 119 is only one. It's only one. How they call them telephone company.
Line?
When I Africell. Now Africell no more. Now no more. Get a phone number there. Anybody else? We get other phone there. We get QCell. We get Sierratel. We get the other phone company than Afriton. But nobody not go able to dial and pass you get Africell. So I sit down to myself, I ask the question, well, what if the person will get Sierratel not get minutes 9 phone for dial this number? What if the QCell person will get phone is not able? So they for work on that, the main concern is they need to work on that. They forget a one universal number where any phone company can able for dial for emergency for get help. And we see the lack of supply, what we not get. But right now, we see aid and they come in, European Union, America, they do blood drive. You know, China, they don't give 500 million, they don't bring supply them. The Minister of Health, Dr. Dembe, he talk of incident on the phone, begin call all them, then partner, they all over the world, they are sending supplies because some of these countries, they get them based in a different country, then they stock and they so by the time they turn around. That's why when I see that quick reaction where things they don't begin come inside the country because we need boku girls, we need boku protein, we need boku IV for the Guinean people. And I say kudos to Senegal because in the briefing they talk of Senegal doctors they don't come by now where they come for can do surgeons then where they join Mr. Kaba, Dr. Kaba, where they say now the head of surgeon, when in they are head of all the surgery and all the hospital. I was pleased when I read Andy, but you know, and I say again, we can do better. I say again, we can do more things. And then even talk of a 9-year-old boy, we go donate milk. They go donate milk to the hospital for the people that were born. They go donate milk because when you are a born victim, you need protein because you therefore build back your cells. You therefore build back your skin. So you need high protein diet. So this bobo, this 9-year-old, and tell say the bobo go take your money where they keep na corner and small money. Now buy milk then carry. But they ask the reporter there in the room ask Urana this bobo, but they never identify, but now they didn't tell we say this bobo. And I was like, that's good citizenship. You don't begin young for care about one another, whatever it is, they say that's so the bobo do. So we don't know because they never identify, they're not identified the bobo to the press. They just maybe they want to keep in privacy because in a small begin, I don't know. But they did that and they talk on they need high protein diets. High protein diets. They get forgetting anything and they now the World Health they send this, they send. But these people have to be for years, they never do surgery, graph and all. When I remember say when they first reports, they say 90 something people that they die. On Thursday, the report where they give it, they say 138 people now don't die. I've been telling I say people they get for die. They get for die of infection, they get for die because we don't get that, you die, waiting and call it. So now this team where they don't put together and whether they work so then they talk of how they don't begin for think about doing them thing then they do the after and then they check themselves, then they try for do. And we go all them to that day, we go all them foot to the fire because we people them if we will get things in place. And then another thing to me, when I've been present in the meeting, there was no police, there was no fire, there was no police, because the police they had a place to play. If they do them meeting and the police for can brief we the people that this then do what's in their role. The army, the fire department bosses them for day. Well, see that's what they say, because when you want to do, you do the holistic, you do everything together, let everybody come at the table. But because if you begin to half group, examples group make so, then we're not then at one page and we're not a walk and we're not a see one side, because we all get for come at the table and everybody puts their need and then we put the money them who side them for go. Because if you gently you get money all kind way, if you don't get well body, not a good thing. If you not get hospital where you get for go, if something do, you're not a good thing. So that all them thing and they will talk. And again, I say sympathy to them. And also that they do blood drive. We don't get blood bank. Salone not get blood bank because we not get the environment for preserve that. We not get the team them for preserve that. We not get the machine. And like when I say, when you get a blood, there's plasma in the blood. There are different things where you can get from somebody in blood, not just blood. They can take them for do other things, but we don't have those things. How to store them? So then they look into all that thing and then they talk all that, big English, but then they talk the big English, we get for all them to the English the way that they talk. Because with people then they suffer. Like I say, anytime I go free time, I go salon, because me not free time at the top, me not can go upline also. Every time I go take out my anxiety level they high, because I suffer from anxiety right now, my anxiety level high. Because I remember what if something happened with a sea accident and gruesome pictures. When the accidents they be, we get to go about safety, transportation safety. When the accidents that they be in a then road, the people that they nyama, you they see one such one accident days here, the eye socket, the whole skin of the person came out. The woman Sidonte just collapsed because she was like, then I last lap of life. There was nobody, nothing to save them, nothing for them, because the motorcar themselves. The safety of the vehicles, and when the people that they die, like I was talking, insurance not there. It's a lot of things we'll get for work on, we get for change now we come together. But we say tell God thank you, then they do small and we go all the accountable for them and do more because we deserve better as Sierra Leoneans. I send on to you, Mr. Shilon, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fadima. A lot of things the way you just say, I'm in total agreement with you. But I want to expound or just comment on 2-3 things then, because you point out a lot of major things. But before I even touch on those, this is where, because we get for drop the bar so low for officials them back home that we get for praise them for everything elementary way they do. I have not seen any strong evidence of high responsibility on the part of a government. For example, if they claim say then they get an emergency number for call, even if you take a 5-year-old picking will not say, as a matter of policy, people for be able to call that number there at all times. I wanna go limit unto one phone company, which to me implies some kind of a crookedness, corruption deal. These people just don't know the left and black hand. Because if they care about the country, you're not supposed to forget any kind of connection. It's like we now. How will the government of the United States say you can forget AT&T connection before you able to call 911? Which kind of sense that could make? Australia, So when they do things like that, the implication is you get the wrong people then at the country where they make policy, or have people at all where no waiting and they do. Then that's the grandstand. And we call these guys for what they are, because as long as we begin to patronize mediocrity, we will never rise to a level of efficiency. Because every little thing, oh, you don't see Wilkinson Road, now fall in. So what? Wilkinson Road should have been fallen 50 years ago. So what's the big deal? And we will see other countries then. So we really need to stop giving these guys credit. Now, like Dr. Dembi, this is a CDC man. In a minister, the impression is giving people who left this wonderful job now, they go back home. Myself, praise them for that. But now rise to the occasion. You, Dr. Dembi, forget far more foresight as to what the medical needs are for a country like Sierra Leone than any of us. Number one, not to feel. Number two, now your expertise down there. Number three, you work now one of the best medical facilities ever in anywhere in the world. So if they're so way ahead of we, that when in time could finish now Sierra Leone as minister, we for be one of the proudest people of having the best and the most efficient medical system. Why? Because it was once headed by a CDC Sierra Leonean. But if you come, you don't work for CDC. I can use myself as an example. I'm not bragging. Because Muhammad Ali say, if you can do what you say, you ain't bragging. My specialty in the law. If I were Attorney General of Sierra Leone today, I can assure anybody in 3 years, Sierra Leone will never be the same in terms of efficiency of the legal system. Because I will know what I'm doing. I will come with ideas so much the country not able to keep up with me. This is what I expect of these guys, these experts, these professionals, these PhD holders, these policymakers. What kind you be governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone? You know, even know simple monetary affairs, the country will go back to worse. Then when you make small change, we begin to give you praise. Now, those days are over. Now, going back to the situation, so it's highly irresponsible of the government to start with, to get an emergency call number, only applicable to one cell phone company. It will be across the board, and then forget such that you're not going to forget minutes. Anybody for be able to call emergency, whether you get minutes on your phone or not, and if we go across the board. If we not get that, we're doing a disservice to the country. Because I've always felt incompetence, now one of the biggest enemy in that country there. And I keep saying, we have to stop for conflict. Academic degrees with competence. For every one academic person where you show me who is competent, I can show you 10 in the same field who's grossly incompetent. So let's not mix it up. Another example I can give, if you ask me this moment, and the governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone and the full chief we see the last time, if you ask me for choose, without any hesitancy, I would choose the full chief, because I know he understands monetary affairs, monetary matters, and economics of Sierra Leone. Past a wonderful professor who has all this accolade. So we really, if we're concerned, let us start seeing things straight, we the citizens them. And when we criticize, let it be constructive like I'm doing, and I'm willing to defend my position. I'll give examples. Okay, this is the situation. So now, Ms. Fadima mentioned about the police was absent, the fire force was absent in the press conference given by the ministers. Well, that's dereliction of duties. Because of course the police should have been there. Because they had a role to play which they failed to play when the accident occurred that led to the disaster. Under a good system, they should have been there long before people then start gathering around and siphoning the gas, even though not to that lead to the disaster. And that's another distinction we're going to make. Would they blame the people that will die? Would they blame the people that will kill? Like for say, that would have made no difference. There would have still been fire. Whether people are not going to take the gas because the gas was leaking and going all over the air. So all it took was one mistake, smoking or something, that will have occurred. So I don't think the people that rarely get any blame now. Now with system not they up to the challenge, and so and let will not say now lawlessness because there was no law being broken. Gasoline the leak, people and see an opportunity for get them for free. It either will have wasted on the ground or people and get them for good do something. It's unfortunate that something bad happened. So if we put things in perspective, I don't see where the citizens are getting a blame now at all. Not to foresee them go broke someplace, then they commit crime. Then just see an opportunity, which if I were as poor as most people are, I will not put myself beyond that point there. We're looking from moving perspective because we're more enlightened, we're more educated, we'll get better opportunity. So we say, oh, they were this and that. But you therefore put yourself in the place of them people in there. That's another thing. So I think say this situation, that fire business, they call for weekly, if not daily, press briefing by the minister, by the fire force, and by the police chief, and by the chief medical officer. But again, that's what we know now. We don't know for people in Obayanda what you go do. The blood bank. Well, Dr. Dembi came from CDC. Even before this disaster happened, I consider something like that basic. When you take that kind of position there, those were the things, those were some of the infrastructure that should have been in place, disaster or not. But one of the ideas, and this will get for take home, mediocrity has no place in today's world. So not for even get blood bank, it's another thing. Then the blood drive. I will hope as the Americans and other foreign embassies then they donate blood, we officials then go set the example, high-level officials, the ministers, police chief, fire force chief, go donate blood too. It can be always somebody then does the do for we not the try for do for ourselves. Because I see video where even people at the American embassy, they do a blood drive, then they try to get blood for up the victim there under. But me not see video of a minister or a permanent secretary or a member of parliament. It may have happened. But I'm just saying, if it is not happening, they need for set an example. Let them know they mean what they say, So that said, for this moment, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. And to you, Professor, what do you get for the aftermath of this?
Hold on. Meaning, we start. First, I want to tell Dr. Fuad Sheriff and colleagues them, Boku thank you because they rise to the occasion. Let God continue for bless them. Waiting happens on a Salone. We can put it in the context is symptomatic of a failed society. Failed. I mean, this is my failure, failed society. Is a failed society in the sense, leaders upon leaders since independence to now we are the talk show, waiting, lacking visionary leadership. Vision. So we will not get visionary leadership in the country. This now across the board, from the old part to now the target. Look, we don't get for be 200 years like America. For lot understand, see, there are certain things that in life for a society, it is just part of the society. Without that, you don't go lay claims to be in a society. Structures, systems, things that, for example, firefighting mechanism. That's a matter of must. Now, any society, because you will never predict waiting will happen. Now, they call them accident. When the accident happen, how do you react to it? You get anything where go contain them or you they exacerbate the problem. In Salone, when accidents of any kind happen, it not get containment. What you get, it just to compound the problem. Salone, by every stretch of imagination, not to be big country, but it get enough resources for lot get certain things them they work. This not to we not go put this up on the Democrats, we not go put up on the Republicans. No. This is not something we just supposed to do. And so don't even. For example, we get 7 rivers in Salone. 7. I hope so them picking away they go school and therefore learn the names of the river in Salone. No. So when you get a country where you get 7 rivers then you ask yourself, why we for them get water shortage? We get electricity shortage. That again they go to the fans, we will not get visionary leadership. We get all of them guys they will go study in a University of Heaven. Now they all go study. They even beat God by the exams. There's no question. They come with top degrees from University of Heaven. But when they come out, when they not commodity come, the fundamental question, okay, you get any of them guys there, high sounding degrees them, where don't do anything where we will say, oh yeah, you know what? There will people that will go study so all that here, where they even beat God by the exam, look what they not do for we. How you get a minister where work na CDC and me and Miss Fadima no waiting at CDC as well as this other within at Bethesda and NIH, we know waiting at the kind of a thing. Me and you know. For lay you walk na the kind of place and it takes arm and leg for lay walk it. So you want to tell me say you don't walk now all them places you go home, you be Minister of Health, you know, not in other way go say, you know what though? When I be there na CDC, these are the things that we are sick. These are the things that we are sick. These are the things that so me as minister, these are the things that the way I will move for make sure so we'll get them. That's your uniform. So that by the time we don't accommodate, oh, you know what we get the Minister of Health, we come now this. How we go get hospital way? We know if you get blood blood banks then. How we go get hospital then? We not for graft, for do skin graft. We not get all of them here. They are why are these we leaders they out every minute they have people in their own country. Every minute they where soon they go do na people in their own country. When they go, when they meet the appropriate people them, ask the people, where soon not get them, bring the people them for them. Or when they go no more for tourist sake. These are all the things and way we get for waiting happen under by any stretch of imagination. Yes, life and go. It come on anywhere. Mr. Shino, you know that within an accident they happen. The mayor get for run go there. No, the mayor not get for go there. The president of the United States get for run go who say accident. No, not get for go there. You don't go there. The congressman and get for go there. No. Why they not go there? Mechanisms that they in place. People that they will go handle these things. These are the things they talk about. These are the things that they talk about. The president not get for day, but guess what? Mechanisms for day we go address those issues them. And these are the things that were fundamentally absent that makes a failed society with all the money they get, with all the resources they will get, with all of them guys that will go study in the University of Heaven with all the high degree they get, but they all want to be failures then in society. This time we suffer because we not get visionary leadership. And when you not get visionary leadership, these are the things that we will get. So I go end up by saying this problem will happen. So when they not can go down Mount Everest, it not even necessary. They can happen for begin mechanism and structure. The first people that when they read 911, the police and the fire people they don't go there, they not take control of the place. Nobody not go inside that place. Nobody cannot go there. Now that's not the first thing, but we get that kind of a thing and there. No, what will happen? People them, I mean, you go no, you want to if they brain dead. How will I go see something like that? Disaster like that when they go there for go begin even for go begin involved in crimes. All this now because of the failed society will get, we don't get anything we go hold it. Say these are the things until we begin talk. Say, you know what? Green, white, and blue na the only two you get na salon, not to solid green or solid red. No. Green, white, and blue been there before solid green and solid red. Until we bring solid green, white, and blue, we put it at the middle. So because this will happen also. Not to to say now only APC people they suffer or SLPP people they suffer or no. Now people in a salon and their lives go. People then. This not to party. They not go. Okay, you then are SLPP. So okay, this actually not go meet you. They don't go meet. No. He meet everybody. So this is where I get what they talk. Say don't put the country first. These are the things that basic things that we go address issues them. We go help enhance and sustain the country. Back to you guys.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. If we can't say any better, we can't say any better, but we'll give a move on to the next topic, to the topic of the day, the topic on social media, the thing what we wake to on 11/11/21. That's what we don't name 11/11/21. We receive a letter from State House. We say it don't suspend Lara Telopias in Deputy Auditor General. We see Facebook, social media go crazy. Everybody was like, what is going on? Well, Udana Lara appears any assistant, the assistant with it. Waiting a Laura involved, Lara na Auditor General. Waiting Auditor General in work. Then pick somebody, it's an independent person, where they come, where they account, where they all with government account for the money where we the people of Sierra Leone give them for let them spend for do with day-to-day business. It just sound like when you then a host, you give you worth money, where you worth come, or you give you picking money, say yeah, go buy this, where the picking come, he bring receipt, he bring thing. So Lara on job. Now for go back to the big border them. Now for go back to the one day where we give we money for spend. Every agency where they say they allocate money to, if they go inside there, because now the law of the land say we get for account, we get for audit, we get for get a report for know how we they spend with money. What's in that thing that they do? That's in there. It try for discourage fraud, waste, and abuse. So what's in longer in job? And they go knock na you domot. He say, "I they come tomorrow. I want to see you paper them, gather them, or he give you 1 week, whatever notice say. I they come to you. I want for can check your book. You na accountant. You there for the money. Now you they sign the check. You na this. Una come. I they come to una. Let una can't show me what you una don't do with them money how they do now for work for the people there of Sierra Leone. That's not Lara in job. When Lara don't gather all the agency them, if they go to State House, then they go na Parliament, then they go all side, and they go to them permanent secretary, then they go any side where government's money they go. Now in Lara they come, he find out, he say, okay, you say you buy this, show me the receipt. Show me the thing there where you say you buy. You say you buy pencil, where the pencil? Who say you buy the pencil, where the receipt? Who say you buy it? They are waiting and call. Now audit, it a check for make sure say with money they go now the right way. Now Lara in job. And Lara in job down the bet. When he done, he present a report for the year. Say, okay, Mr. President, Mr. Parliament, now the money this so what have been give. But yeah, now this I see. Yeah, now this I see. Yeah, they don't go account for them. Yeah, the thing they say they buy no day. Yeah, the receipts they don't write. Now fake receipts they make. Yeah, now this, yeah, now that. Now Lara enjoy. So now the president come out say they suspend them because they do a probe. They don't order the attorney general. The attorney general na Salone, Mr. Briwa, in don't can now say. Then they set a tribunal. Then they do a probe. A probe means say then they go chuk, fen, waiting at the thing at the problem. And one of the thing that when they say at the trial for Fenham, they say they act professionally. They say they Lara waiting and call them bias. They act professionally. Mm-hmm. So Tamba and Deputy Tamba Momo. So what we according to Africanist Press right say, because they know this deputy don't go fair. This now according to Africanist Press, so and I must say Africanist Press for the past year, and I give them money them. Now the allegation the way they put out there, it gets back up with every claim where it make. It gets back up for sure. It get account number them. If they tell we what in the presidents they spend, if they tell we who stand and pull the money, if they tell we first lady on, if they tell we the minister then what in they do. Now Africanist well because we forget access to information, but we don't get that opportunity. But how Africanist was against source, we don't know. But Africanist West they put and they in a back in statements the way they make. He say receipts them in there where they say the president and say them travel. Where they travel go, they say they go pay for hotel. Then receipts and they all are fake receipts. So Africanist Press don't claim say in gets the 2020 Auditor General's report and very soon in go release them. So now the presidents don't pull this woman indefinitely. Yes, the law na Salone say the presidents get right if he feels say the woman not a work to the mental ability or for do the work to the best of whatever. Like the woman not fit for doing work. So the president get right for suspend them for let them do investigation. The president get the rights. That's what the law will we make say na Salone. So it can be say, and the law so open that we, if me na president or me na me they in charge, if I don't like you or I don't like what you they can't come out because people they now it make the president they look suspicious because we all they all say the president don't travel boku them. Then they get per game, then they get this, then they get that, then they take cash go, then they wait. We don't have all done there. So now this woman is about to pull a report. Then this thing don't come. So some people and they say it looks suspicious because they're afraid for waiting then at the report because it's damaging to the administration. Some people they say that social media that that's make presidents be open. But we don't know. Until they say they don't set the report, the constitution allow that. Mr. Shilo, you are a lawyer. We know that for the longest time you don't complain, say a lot of things are so vague. A lot of things that they put the power in one person in hand. So therefore, it leaves the judiciary system vulnerable to interpretation of anybody in kind where it think or how the person feels. So that person to you. You see this case there now, and Lara don't talk now to be Omar Fofana. He said, "I will defend my name." And the one that went on Lara, they say Lara not a no nonsense person. And people there, when they inside this administration now, they all sit on a FBC with Lara. Lara na no nonsense, strong disciplinarian, we focus on the job. And I want to make this point say, not to today Lara begin this job over 10 years. Now Lara make we know, excuse me, how an escrow them pass with we money them for Ebola. Lara don't be consistent for the longest time. You know they hide nobody. Waiting in reports, waiting you go see now in the pool. This is a very intelligent, competent woman. But right now, they don't put a dent and a cloud over them, and the woman say, I am ready to defend my name any side we go and all that today. I pass on to I don't let the case go.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fadima. As always, from the legal perspective, first of all, there are certain positions in a democracy that if the framers or they put them, people that want to put the system together, if they are serious, and as Mr. Kutubu say, if they are foresighted, where they're part of the vision where they talk about. And when we talk about visionary leadership, this is the point. Not to BO make the law. Before BO come, that law they don't exist. This is the trouble sometimes who can complain about. Because the leaders them, the bookman them, as Mr. Kutubu say, we get degrees them from heaven to hell and everything before they reach on earth and then go Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, Yale. Now then put these documents together. Then common sense. This is not basic constitutional understanding, not basic political science 101. If you want to sustain a democracy, you get for minimize the power of the president and the office of the presidency. You get for minimize the power of parliament. And you even get for minimize the power of the judiciary. We get for do the interpreting of the Constitution. So when they come up with an issue or a system such as that a president all by himself can just instruct an attorney general for suspend and conduct for do an investigation on the auditor general, you know, and how did they come up with the idea? Didn't they know? Couldn't they have foreseen that you will get president? The reality is there are no cities in Africa. We're not that mature politically. Democracy is very new to we. We are now trying to, we still not get to balance it. We're not able to map studies like we learn for skateboard. You know, you go foresee, say, when the person don't learn the skateboarding, it will begin pick up speed. And there's a possibility that it will sometimes forget himself, motorcar go to come, and this guy, you take everything into account. There are offices in a democracy that should not be subject to the wishes of one person, and that's the president. And that is the governorship of the bank or the central bank. That president should not serve at the pleasure of the president. That president, because he's not going ever able to do any effective monetary policy, because if the president don't like what you to do, the president will get rid of her. Now, human nature. If Mrs. and a president, are they on some trajectory where me and the governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone no see eye to eye, I go prove to her and say, well, me not the president. Now the law number go hold me back. If there is a law where tie me hand and me foot, otherwise I will get rid of her. So the one that will draw a constitution, you mean they don't know that? They don't foresee that? The same thing applies to the Auditor General. We not say at the end of the day, the Auditor General, naina the auditor, naina the check, naina the balance in terms of controlling wastefully, deliberately converting funds, government funds, into uses that were not for the purpose they get the money. How will we draw up a law? We'll get a statute where subject that person there to the whim or the firing or the wishes of a president. And now we know, because we have to put a broader perspective, we know say even previous governments had used it before to fire or to get rid of or to suspend, not to fire, to suspend 2 high court judges than before under the same law. Apparently then the rule, and one of them are the current Chief Justice, I understand. So previous government don't do that. So you see, this is where lies the problem. So we have to take the focus off Bio a little bit, because it has to take opportunity and they take advantage of a bad law. Because the one that will craft the law, where the country depend on, they self couldn't see past the nose where they draft this law. And all these things are coming back to haunt we. You know? So we know say we get an idea as to what the motive is. We know say the government they try for and cover up. But this is an opportunity that the current government is taking advantage of that has been in existence before this government even assumed power. But that's what happens when you know they make law, when they make a number for convenience, not for the good of the country, not for the future. When I not take the Constitution seriously, will not take the system of checks and balances serious, everybody go pay the price sometime or another. And sometimes when you go become the victim of that law, you don't know that. Because we'll get another topic where we will discuss where people there now who once were dishing it out, now they're dishing it back to them, and they're in fear for their lives. So my point here is, we all understand the function of of the Auditor General. We know, say, every review of this woman is just remarkable, that she's as good as they come, and she is as steady in terms of her forthrightness. We need such people, but we don't have them.
Yeah, Mr. Shillong, finish your thoughts, sir. Let me bring Professor in.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk to the Professor.
No, finish your thoughts, sir. Then I'm bringing
No, I
Professor
don't finish.
in.
I don't finish. I'm
Okay.
finished.
Professor, we'll put on the board right now the reasons the way Mrs. Taylor Pierce and Mr. Tamba Momo was suspended indefinitely. A special tribunal is being set up by the Attorney General to investigate allegations of procurement irregularities, conflict of interest, and professional misconduct on the part of the suspended Auditor General and her right-hand man, Mr. Tamba Momo. The Auditor General is accused of violating the Financial Management Act of 2016, the Fiscal Management and Responsibility Act of 2017, blah, 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 and the recruitment of private audit firms by the Supreme Audit Authority when the Supreme Audit Authority did not allow that. And one of the reasons they done it, when they say, it go hire farm, when they not approval for help farm for doing work and misconduct, and they not trust them and this and that, impartial, all that stuff that they work in English. So they say, is that people that they say, this government, they fled in shadow. People that they say, this government, because of what in there the report, they want for buy time. What do you think to this whole thing where you see they unfold so right now before we are? Because people that say, then they try for buy time, then they try for pull the woman come out so they will give a report. But anytime when they make reports, it don't already then at the computer, it don't then at the cloud, it don't then at the whole team where the woman don't almost round up a report, maybe it don't even done because they want to win no. So now very disciplined, very professional, very woman with focus on what they do and where they do in job and they take shortcuts. So what do you say to that, sir? Are they trying to buy time?
Mr. Mr. Shillong go a little round to more things I want to talk about. Waiting, I don't see, we don't grip the fabric of the society. We, it appears, say, nine at the emo, so that now they take look Salone. This is a question of this propaganda business. It don't so much be part of the narrative that come. Nobody is prepared for where they mean for step back. When something happen, just like the Wellington tanker, situation. People are not prepared to. As soon as people are in column, then the propaganda business going to spin. If we want to be honest with ourselves, we will ask question: waiting not happen to Miss Pierce? Is strange? No. We get any precedent to that? Yes. When at the precedent, a minister was suspended because there was allegation of corruption. But that's aside though. Me they go back because like me your postulations in everything what they do way at the whole discussions them. Like I already talk, I not like for talk about the symptoms. Because when you talk about the symptoms, you don't actually miss the point. You miss the point. All of this what they see so way the society don't become a free for all, an animal farm mentality, where nobody know they charge, where the center not able, just like where they turn things fall apart, where the center not the whole anymore. It emanate from one thing. We don't cease for be a nation where believe in the rule of law. Two things then go help Salone or any other country. Two things. Not to them guys that will go study in the University of Heaven. Not to them. And I just two things. One, we must endeavor for be a nation where believe in the supremacy of the rule of law, because nine are the ethical foundation anymore and compass where nine are the defining factor and we must agree say all of us from the governor them to we where they sleep na Kisi Road Market where they sleep there, the law there for we all, meaning how they deal with me where they sleep na Bombay Street Market. Now the same way they for deal with that guy who sit on the State House. I believe it. Yeah, all this so we get an equally in a very corrupt society. This I can tell anybody. This not to any society where you go say na perfection, no. But guess what? They get something like where anybody, if you not believe, Mr. Donald Trump, one of his people, then they just don't hold him for contempt, and he has not been criminally charged. The former governor of New York has left office. They don't put him in office. Why that happened? Because they believe in the rule of law. They believe say nobody know they above the law. They believe in. I really don't want to make Lady Taylor Pierce. I don't want actually put her at this pedestal. No. I go rather prefer for talk about a broken system than him. Than the system we talk about. If we get a law, not to a law that way they preserve people in their office, because this so constitution will get now one that way they preserve people. I can tell anybody when Mr. Bio is gone, when he don't demit, the next president will come, as long as now this law, now the same thing we go at the corner. Because he always say, hey, I derive my authority from the constitution. The framers of their lawyer now they are the greatest enemy of Salone. The one that will be come up with this so-called law. You know, but I never even call on constitution. Show me. I can call and say, but now waste paper, go for just level and it does me. Okay. Then the one that will be with the hopes that they don't go come out in office anymore. So for intent, they say, how can we get a society where people like Montesquieu, them, people like John Locke, they may not put a system of governance together, when a divided form of government, how we go turn around, we get one person, one individual, when I don't become the be all and end all, the embodiment of the society, the alpha and the omega, the iyak nabudu, iyak nastai. One person, how can we get? How we go get a parliament in a country where so many infractions of principles don't take place? But you know they see them nowhere. You know they hate them. You stand up for the supreme body in we governance, that the parliament. Not to the other way around. No. Any administration, parliament no go report to an administration. No, they happen so. No, not the other way. Me and you there, Mr. Shino, when this president they try for passes in budget, this in $1 trillion budget. You know, people then they say, oh no, oh man, that's in the not to so for one, you get for one this way. If you not do this way, we not go vote for. Your party members, that guy within West Virginia now one, and the other congressman, the one within in Arizona, whatever it is. So, like I said, when you live now, if we been get a system where where power is equally divided among everybody, now we get even the third branch at the court. Nobody makes use of the court. Nobody challenges executive authority that's alone. Everything where a president do, everybody they take a ipso facto. So a constitution, a duly elected vice president was fired with reckless abandon. The parliament was nowhere in a situation where you get a parliament of people there, not to hustlers them, not to hard up man them, not to people that when they go look say let them give them money for buy underwear for them, for buy let them buy half back for them, let them buy this for them. No. People that way actually they work for the people then. That president would have never gone because what he do, he violate the sanctity of the law, the supreme law of the country. Now he violate the constitution. And what we talk say we are a society of law, we are a nation. It's because we get a law where they govern with conduct. If they govern with conduct, we all rely on them. But if one man don't violate her with reckless abandon, then nobody says nothing. I mean, we want to ask the fundamental question whether we justify for say we are a society. So for sum up, Leon talk about this. Like I said, I'm not even going to make an issue now. Because if we had a parliament by now, there should have been a hearing. Right away, the parliament don't come for a hearing. For go look into this very quickly. The parliament, they do their work. The executive, they do your work. They don't go just sit on like bystanders and no. Therefore, call it a hearing. Call the Minister of Finance.
The question then becomes with the parliament, this administration are in charge of the parliament. Now they get the speaker, now they get the clerk, now they get the this. We there other party there where they don't pull the press release for disclaimers. But if they push the thing forward, will the speaker of the house move the motion to do the investigation? Will they allow it? Because that's the problem too of the corrupt web where we don't, they say what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. And we don't weave this web where everything tangled, nobody don't care. Come inside there, everything just wrap up. One person they control, one person they speak. The parliament useless because they only choose what thing they want to talk about. They don't choose waiting at the team and just the same as the legal system. They have, and you talk of the removal of the vice president. That is very, very wrong. But when you see Uda for top, Parliament for comes, nobody is doing nothing. But these people are getting paid with real money themselves.
No. We missed the point here. The Parliament also is part of the problem at Salone. Okay, when I talk say nobody takes executive action at court. Nobody does that. Nobody. So what the presidents, all of the presidents, what they don't do, they don't take advantage of people that how you call them the cravenness, because they be smitten by cowardice. They know how they call them. When you get parliamentarians receiving brown envelopes. Una don't more get the sovereignty of una constitutional responsibilities. These are the things that when they happen because the parliament stands say, oh no, this not going to happen here. Cause a confrontation with the president, lots is in there above the country. But we got a system when the parliament, when a president, they summon a parliament at the tip of your finger. Wait one there. Yeah, before the president meet with the parliament there, now negotiations upon negotiation. So it is what not happen again. We don't create a culture in a Salone, solid green or solid red. The party them and the leaders them, now they will don't transmogrify into this kind of mythical figure. Now they don't turn the society. So we don't get any Salone. What you get, solid green or solid red. Then with the leaders them. Because if we get parliament, where everybody, Mr. Shino know that the first are in column now the parliament. If they all turn up as a team, say, oh no, it's not going to happen here. It's not going to happen here. This is not to SLPP or AP. I just don't give an example. The senator from West Virginia, he stand up to Ion President Naya. He stand up to him. But the guy that get and parliamentarians, no, they're nothing but hustlers. Now me I not get and I you to respect for anybody who call himself parliamentarian. They're nothing but hustlers then. Enemies of society, showboat, talk about Jagba because they cannot eat their food and not done. When they eat food, they don't do what they give for. You let them show me any parliamentarian whether not because if not as a team, formidable, they would not even have removed their MPs them waiting me happen. That would not have happened. But when they undermine and say they sit in a corner, they do this, they do so. So the problem now again, as I sum up, two ways what will get ourselves out of this crisis. Two ways. We get for endeavor for be a nation where they thrive on the fundamental edifice of the rule of law, number one. And number two, we all therefore agree, so we therefore submit to the dictates of the rule of we all, from we where they sleep na King Jimmy Market, Big Market, Kucho Road Market, to the man where sit down at State House, we all the law get for whole week to same way. When we decide for do that, we will move from the boulevard of progress to the avenue of success. Now, your contribution that.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Salone. You know, you're Kutubu, but somebody make a comment at the thing talk of why Professor they bring in the firing of things. And Professor explained, I just want to make the person understand, because sometimes we hear stuff, but we really, we're not listening, not people listening ears for them, we really understand. And what Mr. Kutubu they talk right now is the laws are broken. Because the laws, he said before in talk, they talk about Lara in issue. In one talk, waiting at the reason why we get Lara in issue. The causation of the problem. Whose side we don't fall short? Whose side we don't make a mistake? Now they professor in the common from. And in the try for tell we say, if we parliament when they work, the way it's supposed to work, the parliament gets power past the president, the executive. But the parliaments don't know their role. And this is what it try for explain. That's why it make, because every time where you go, you therefore make, whose side we don't make a mistake. It don't matter whose party, but whose side we don't make a mistake, how we don't see them, we know they do nothing for fix the problem. When somebody talk, say that this that the problem, APC we don't do it. SLPP we don't do it. Now, President Bio promises us new direction. He said it is not a business as usual. What did that mean to anybody who sabi English? That means say la broken down a Creole. That means say all the things that we don't do bad and wrong. We know they do and so. We can take on a new direction. Who say the country go before and develop and all about in life go better. We go get back with middle class now when they call. We go get back with dignity. The people that go able to get side when they sleep. That is what President will promise we. So if Professor they talk, not mean say it target anybody, it talk the failed system. What we get, we're not the work government after government. That's why Madam Lara Telopias doing her job, minding her business. Presidents get power because the law of whoever we don't see don't make the law that they give them the mandate to say it can do it anytime we feel for one because it don't let whatever they can come up with anything. That's what Professor is saying. So let we try to understand the people them. Let we try to see. You know, they get one story, one read then days there, one video I see then days there. They say the donkey, where then they call us as an ASS, and the donkey and the tiger or something. The donkey and the lion, and the donkey and the tiger. So they begin argue. The donkey say the grass is red or blue. The lion say, no, the grass is green. The donkey still they say the grass blue. Now then go, the donkey like jump to be gonna court. He said, Your Honor, he said the grass blue. The lion they say the grass what's in a call. Now he said, when how you see the grass? Now I say the grass is blue. Now I say, well, the grass is blue. So he go now, he said, go for 3 days, not talking at him, come back. Now the lion asked the judge, he said, what him do? You tell the what and call say the grass is blue. He said, because there's no need arguing with an ass. That means the donkey, you know they win. You cannot win. Because if you decide for be such, you see the truth, but you're calling it something else. You know, you're calling it because the video is trending on social media. I saw it. So the moral of the story is you cannot waste your time. They try for argue with sometimes people will not see the truth. And that is it look like say, now that way they Sierra Leone don't day. Because I see one other man they write say, oh, there goes SAPC people again. You know, it is so sad. So why do you have to waste your breath, your intelligence, your little bit of intelligence to somebody who are ready and willing for absorb what you see and for call the truth like I see. That is what we're doing here. We're not trying to get fame from nobody. We're not trying to get attention. We speak for the people that we're not able to talk for themselves. That is why we sit here. This is not the voice of Sierra Leone. Everybody's voice matters. We try to make people then see. But we cannot force you for let you see. But we go put on a year because we not say repetition. When you're here, one day it will make sense. Say, hey, wait a minute. So people, come on. Come on. Let we be able to save small. Let we open, we put we listening ears on, and then we'll only done our bed. Let we think back of what it will be here and try for pull we save from that bondage what we did now we mind them. Mr. Shilon, sir. You don't hear waiting professor say. The phone lines are open with people there. When I call, we join the conversation.
Well, we already have some calls. So why don't you go ahead and take them?
Okay, let me take caller them quick. Let me take caller them. Good evening, caller. Good afternoon. What's your name and who's you call from, please? Hello, caller. Good evening. Name, please, and who's you call from?
Yeah, Bina Abdullah, they call from Maryland.
Yes, Mr. Abdullah. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to give you small time there. I don't know like Telopias for some time, almost 20 years, and I know in tenacity and fortitude because I don't in a school where it was auditor. So I know the good works we don't do it. Now, Kutubuki always say future events cast their shadow. Like Telopias in suspension is not a surprise to me because I don't see the trend. If una can remember, and una always repeat, I don't talk and just know that the Constitution, 1991 Constitution, it bear the vestiges of the 1978 Constitution. If you read the Constitution, you're a historian or political science, you read the Constitution, you know the Constitution is ambiguous. One government, they use them where they gain power against the other one. Now the advice that I will give that if you not change the Constitution before it is left power, when APC go come, they go use a worse person. Now come to the suspension. Even I can remember earlier this year, when there was that wrangling between the financial secretary, Sajusu, and the Auditor General, saying if you deposit, then auditing fees, that is special auditing can they do, therefore deposits and at the consolidated fund. There was that tug of war between them. And also their intention, the intention was clear that they want for control their own finances. And then also the part of that special auditing, they go towards waiting government to give them for do the auditing. And the financial secretary, if you can remember, in all the interviews they were in the blow hot and cold, he was so angry that Lara Telopias not they distinguish the years of auditing where they do. That is, if we just truncate waiting we don't audit during an excrement in time, then it do am fresh for other bill. For example, waiting in the don't audit because it roll over. If when I realize it will roll over the figures. Waiting it don't begin audit from 2012, it will roll over if there is still no answer to the questions the way it raised at the previous auditing. So it will roll over. So when it comes to Dewayo, because they jump over the roof, they glad you enter in it. When it comes to this, it don't roll over to then you. So everything you don't do 2014, 15, 16, 17, welcome to 2018. When I see the number don't balloon. When I see the number balloon, so it will create that sensation there. And that's when they anger them. When they anger the spin doctors of the current government. It anger them because the number don't balloon. because monies that were not accounted for, monies that were misappropriated in 2012, 13, 14, 15, up to this time, they are still being rolling over to this present moment. So then they become angry that when you call the number now say, oh, this current government misappropriated or money unaccounted for goes into the trillions, that they are more corrupt than the previous government. So it's really political language between the two parties. So now that 9 they occur. And so I can remember the president in town hall meeting, when I see the sarcastic response we give to woman with Fofana in question, why are you not giving the Auditor General support? His exact words were, if she cannot withstand the heat in the kitchen, that is
I remember that interview. Thank you, Abdullah. You turned on.
It becomes angry because of them. Now that's not the issue. That is the form of contention. Now this, now that, now the issue. Then they become angry because of this one over auditor report on the day up to this time. So now that's not my
okay. Thank you, Abdullah. And for the one that we don't know, what's here, Abdullah from Maryland, they talk on the interview with President Bill do with Umar Fofana, where they ask what the Auditor General, the problem where even they get with the Bill, the people, them. Now President Bill say, who are they protecting with? What about my wife? Do you know things that I've said about my wife? Blah, blah, blah. Who are they protecting? Well, if Lara know, she's a public person, and if Lara not able to take the hit, get out of the kitchen, and those were they paraphrase the words of President Bill on that interview that we have been say not too long ago, sometime this year. Then he say, we have that video, we will play them. We can play it. We will play them after the caller, the next caller. We will play that video. Waiting this man with the talk, because you look and say it's a coming events cast their shadow. Are these the things that have been in the pipeline that make like things? Because we remember also when I think it was the finance minister or somebody we say the president not forget an open check, they not for check them out in the travel, they not for audit certain things, they for get an open check, nobody not for ask nothing. And where the voice of the media and everybody, President Bill says turn and don't say no, I don't want that kind waiting a call day. So let me go to another caller. Caller, good afternoon. What's your name? Who's the call we from, please? Hello, caller. Good evening, afternoon. Name and who's the call from, please? Hello, caller. Do you hear me? Okay, I don't know if that caller did. Yes, go ahead, please. Waiting at your name, who's the call with?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, caller. Waiting at your name, sir. Yeah, go ahead. Now you, sir. Now you turn. You there live?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, go ahead, sir. You there live?
You get me?
Yeah, turn you. Who say you listen to me? Turn and down. Turn and down. I make you confused. Turn you set down where they listen to me. I make you confused.
Hello?
You hear me now? It's better. Yeah, go ahead. You there on live. What's your name? Where they call from? You got for turn down. Who say they listen to me from? Because you echoing. You on live. What's your name? Where they call from? Turn down your set where you watch me from. If not, we will get echo.
Good evening. So this government now goes straight to the point. Madam, you don't do a very bad mistake, but sack the Auditor General at this particular time.
Well, enough sack him here. It's not correct before you go further.
No, I'm not saying they come again. They come again. And they tell you, these are not put at this one. All the other way they don't suspend, they come again. They no come. Me, that's what me they put on. You understand?
Okay.
You know.
Okay, go ahead.
And then people here, let me tell you, the people that where they beat that country today, the civil society is them. They know exactly where that MCC report will come out. Even as soon as the MCC report comes out, they start they suspend the Attorney General. The Auditor General. Sorry. You know, it's a chain work. But not for say this is a big mess for the government because this thing will go all over. All the international partners, the way they support this country, they don't know these things. They don't say them people are not credible. Because then they look to the time where they suspend them, it's just 2 weeks for letting them bring a report. And they forget that this man gets all the reports and then I ask drive. He gave for submit to the people where they pay them, not to because Salone government they pay them, international donors they pay them. They go to send them before you get the tender. And madam, they don't see all the reports. What's ready to happen? They don't see the mess where it don't happen. So when no they have to strike. This guy say corruption fight back. You know, and one thing this particular government now digital like man then. That's what they call it now. All the things they do, they're supposed to digital movements, you know. 19 at the month. One credible thing when they do. The first lady, you don't mess up everything. They allow somebody, you know. I'm sorry for saying the people that were educated that country now, the most stupid people all they were not educated. The command maximum you want to get PhD, and stupid all SLP people get all the PhD where they get. They put it under the foot. Because talking to under the foot, and they must anyone. It's too sorry. Look at people they suffer everything they life, but every day they get different people explain. I tell them 2 weeks back, and they bring out a different explanation. December, get the money only in Salone. And then check now the money will be people the way they send na Salone the overseas. Now they go take to it. But no money, not no day. And this year people are going to suffer more than anything. 2022, you get to be what? And they tell you, this particular government is really desperate for anything. They don't care, and the people don't care. They don't want to know. They don't care for the well-being of the Sierra Leone. Come on, in them. You know, they desperate. This power they want to by force for them to maintain them. If they not get any do any kind of destruction, they go do any kind of bad deals. For the get the next coming government if they not get power. I will tell you this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we just play quick. We will take the caller. The caller, please, hold on a little second. Just do it 2 minutes. Now we just play this video. This is a video, courtesy of AYV, but somebody don't write inside there. I don't know if somebody else writes inside it. The one will get right now. But let me go. Just listen to the words and listen to the video between Umar Fofana and thing. This is an interview what we do now AYV. Go ahead, sir. Technical team.
Do you feel sorry for the Auditor General for what she seems to be going through, which some say is harassment, for doing a good job auditing your system?
Do you also pity me or my wife when they talk about her?
The audit service, you mean? Talk about you and your wife?
No.
Well, I'm specific in terms of the audit.
You're talking about her now. You
Yeah.
seem to be concerned about her. But you know what has been said about my person, my wife, and all of these people sitting here?
Maybe you are politicians, she is not.
Public officer. She is a public. When you step into that space, there is no more fence. You are open. They say everything and anything about you. You think my intervention is going to stop? No.
Maybe. I take that point, Mr. President, but the point is, be that as it may, do you sympathize, or at least do you empathize with her for what she's going through?
I do. And you know, should I call it the accusation you're making? It's the same thing my wife tells me. They are telling me I'm a thief, I'm not this, and she cries and that. I say, I've been called worse names than that. But nobody called me to come here. I chose to come here. If you can't stand the heat, don't go to the heat. We want to unite.
Good evening, this is Esau Williams with Focus on Africa from the BBC World Service, and later in our programme, Sierra Leone's much-admired Auditor General suspended from office. She could face a probe, and Liberia's former Vice President says he's fighting fit and ready to snatch the leadership crown from President George Weah. There is shock and consternation in Sierra Leone over the decision by President Julius Maada Bio to indefinitely suspend the country's Auditor General, Lara Taylor Pierce. No reason was given, but the letter says that she and the agency will be subject to an investigation at a time yet to be determined. Well, Umaru Fofana reports from Freetown.
Lara Taylor Pierce received her suspension letter today. So did one of her deputies, Tamba Momo. The content is skeletal. It says the Attorney General has been instructed to set up a tribunal to investigate the two and the entire audit service for what it calls professional performance or the lack thereof. No further details were given. It is not clear when the panel will be constituted, what their scope or duration will be. What is clear is that the indefinite suspension comes just as the Auditor General and her team were readying themselves to present in December their annual report into the appropriation of the country's finances for 2020. Efforts to clarify issues with State House were futile. Reacting to her suspension, the highly respected Lara Taylor Pierce denied any wrongdoing, saying she is prepared to cooperate with the tribunal when it is set up. She declined a recorded interview. But in a written statement to me, she said they had not been told about any wrongdoing they were supposed to have committed. She insisted, and I quote, "Audit Service Sierra Leone has always maintained the highest standards. At all times, we have upheld international best standards. I remain ready to cooperate with any tribunal guided by my legal representative and to defend my reputation anywhere, anytime," unquote. Reaction from the public has been swift and sharp. On social media, it has been hugely on the side of the suspended Auditor General. Civil society has also been quick to stand by her. Ibrahim Tommy heads the Center for Accountability and Rule of Law. He gave me his reaction.
News about the suspension of the Auditor General is shocking. Shocking because at least most Sierra Leoneans who have followed her work over the last decade or so believe that she's done quite a good job of producing high-quality audit reports on the government's financial statements.
Lara Taylor Pierce has a career spanning 30 years in the audit business. She has been at the helm of the audit service for the last decade and has worked at the service for much longer. She is held in high regards both locally and internationally. Her reports have been hard-hitting against both the previous and present administrations. Her decision to do a real-time audit on the way funds were spent in responding to the Ebola outbreak in 2014 and 15 and the current COVID pandemic exposed massive corruption and sat well with the people of this country.
And that's Umaru Fofana reporting from the Sierra Leonean capital, Freetown.
Well, when I know you give me people, so we'll go back to the color, then because one when I read anything, then they for keep in mind, waiting at the teen and waiting at the teen. And when I read where Umaru Fofana say, well, if they don't do it for Ebola now, even the COVID, they don't, pull the massive corruption and misappropriation of funds the way, people that they do. And this woman get reputation internationally and inside Sierra Leone. So let me go to the next caller. Caller, good evening. What's your name and who's side you call from, please?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Go ahead. What's your name? Who's side you call from?
Yeah, excuse me. I just want to ask under which law the president get right for dismiss a worker like that, you understand? Did this they tell we say the president not get respect for woman them, you understand? One, when woman been do mistake, he not dismissing woman. But when he say now other employees, so he get the right for dismissal. You understand? Right now, the country, they go under a tough oppression. You understand? People and they starve. The government, they tell we say, then they maintain development in the country. 70% of people, they wait and done school, they not get job. You understand? And secondly, then they tell we say, then they do better pass the past regime. Me not to APC supporter. But my question is under which what they ask, under which law the president have the right, because there is no consultation and what I mean, there is no consultation that the government have done to dismiss. You just say no more, I dismiss this person. That means we not under a democratic rule in the country. You understand? And
Yeah.
what thing the objective, the problem is we want like this government focus on the problem of the country. You understand? We don't need roads then anymore. The poverty, the starvation, you understand? People and they die from poverty. You understand? The development, what in this regime care for provide to the people then of Salone. The Salone people then today not the roads they want. You understand? Not to then think then wait and they do and talk now media, not to in we need. What do we need now for take the people then out of this poverty, this decade of poverty? Well, my question is that which right the president have to dismiss somebody just like that?
Right.
My question so
Well,
much.
they get a law. They get the law where they go to. Then call per the Constitution, Section 137(5) of the 1991 Constitution. Then kind of use for try for put the case before. Now that they push the case before. Now that case now that law they want use. And that law I will make technical team find out exactly what in the law they do. And I will make Mr. Shilon go read and to be quick if he able to find within that law they say inside the law, because I know say they say if the person incompetent for doing work, just like the same thing what they will use for a judge for dismiss a judge, they can use them for dismiss the attorney general or what's in it called. So we will find that section. We will explain until now more. But let's go to the other caller quick. Then I will come to you, Mr. Shilon. What's in your name, sir and ma'am? Good afternoon. Which are the calls from?
Yeah, I they do an addendum with Gemini Abdullah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, yes, Mr. Abdullah. Go back again. Thank you.
Yes, I just want to go back to. I just want to appeal to Lara. Let Bia, and I don't say with or without the Auditor General position, the cable for making a life. I want just one thing on a down memory lane. Remember in the early 80s when Shaka Stephen Sack leaves St. Luke, very prominent and some well-known and hardworking Chief Justice. We know Usai he was landed. He was landed in Botswana where they will make the Chief Justice. So where a prophet not get on in own land, then he make a matter. So I just want Ali in fears. Let not worry about that. Let that not move. I know say Lara, as I know her, I know she will not be moved. Now, here we come back to the waiting. I mean, they expect the president to do for give Lara in back. The president for me don't make an ultimatum or an executive order. Whenever Lara appears the pull a report, as Madam Biomi don't say this is a new direction. If there is any adverse findings in any ministry or department, waiting and they expect the president to do, that all the top officials of that department or that ministry, you either suspend them or you sack them because they are named to the country, whether they are politicians or civil servants. But that's that's all give them you full back. Then Lana tell us, please not cast corruption at all the ministries and departments, because I don't listen to so many of interview them. They don't commend certain ministry and departments, and if they go audit way, they don't say then book really day in order. They don't mention the NRA. Well, I don't know because the current NRA director when Samejiba when an auditor you know what they do, follow the books. Then he don't comment again the youth minister Mohamed Omar Bagura. That when they go do audits at the youth ministry, they always find they say their own book they in order. They know they get problems with misappropriation or whatever. But one thing when in the if they comment that they get the parliament and support. You they find out say when they go auditors they don't go to a ministry, they don't require a request for a book or document or whatever. Then they refuse for them. But not sooner than calling a parliament, they receive the surface. Why? una for begin question that why when auditors don't, because they are not auditing you as a person, they are auditing the department, they are auditing the ministry. When auditors go, you present all your documents or whatever before them. But he don't complain that here, in here, out. He don't dare from the previous government up to this time. Now the same thing they continue. That them people they are dinosaurs in those ministries and departments, then they fail for change. Then no one change. So with the expected the president, you give an ultimatum or you make an executive order. There is any adverse findings in the Auditor General's report. The officials from the minister come down if there is a ministry or department, they should all be suspended or fired because they are giving you a bad name. That's what they expect. You don't give them because the people as long as the fight against corruption
Thank you, brother Abdullah. Thank you so much. Return don't call. You know, 3 minutes. Thank you so much. You give a very, very good picture, paint a picture of what we understand. But one thing where you say, where I don't agree with you, you say, let Lara beer. And this is the thing that have held us back. How for do let beer, I go get where they make fashion look or who they be fire, Shakasi be fire, they go get job na Botswana. And no, it should not be like that. Because they try for make the country for on the way it's supposed for on. And we know say Lara is a very strong woman, we very competent, we know how for doing job, and where you're not just a run over just like that. She's not a run over woman, she's a tough cookie, we know that. So we know say it will standing ground and stand for advantage because they not go take advantage of her. So thank you so much for that detail again. Mr. Shilon, before I go to the next caller, sir, you really waiting this last caller, Abdullah said from Maryland, and other previous caller, they don't say that the parliaments, they know they do their work. We don't talk on that just now. And they don't get support. And you read from the audio, the interview with Umar Fofana and President Bill, with President Bill say, what about me? You know, what about me? I mean, what do you think of that interview where you hear him? And then you listen now, waiting, if not being case where them put before you, how you go look at, how you go as an attorney, as a lawyer, how would you present this case? How do you see this case for defend your client? Mr. Shilon, you're muted, sir.
Sorry about that. What you will need to realize in running a government, there is a phrase or there is a thing called balancing act. Now, what you will see in Sierra Leone, because there is a total misunderstanding when they put the constitution together. And my position has always been that's because we had a lot of people then get as drafters of the constitution who were not constitutional scholars. Some of whom had not even had a single course in constitutional law, and probably they don't even quite grasp the basic understanding of what the constitution is all about. I've always tried to let people know, because we're in Australia, and anybody could say, if you go, you take the constitution of Australia, over 50% of what's in the constitution not belong there. That's what we call in America statutory law. There are lots of things they put there, but I can understand because they don't know any better than just throwing stuff. But a constitution basically is like a design, an architectural design, primarily geared towards restraining, primarily geared towards protecting the rights of the people and restraining the power of government. Basically, that's what the constitution of a country is all about. How you go restrain government so government will go abuse power, because human tendency goes that way. If you give people too much power, then there's a tendency for abuse if there are no checks and balances. So when you write a constitution, you know the basic function of a constitution. And it also is designed to protect the right and properties of the people. What we've done, we've mixed up everything. Okay? And then to add insult to injury, the people away by the framework constitution, their own preoccupation now have to protect them within political party at the time of the writing of the constitution. Nothing in place about future generations. Nothing in place about economic development, about how the country for run properly. How, you see, that was not the thought process. So now I keep saying what we are seeing, and it's a hard fact, and I want people to understand. There are so many wrong things President Biya to do. I mean, a lot of things I don't agree with the man. I think I give him criticism of in government. But this is one perfect example where he's taking advantage. To some, it might be undue advantage of an existing law that neither he nor his parliament passed. The law is there. So now would they expect perfection from him? Whereas if President Biya and all engaged in all this corruption, the question now becomes, why should there be the existence of such a law? And they allow the Auditor General to expose them. You see? Now the framers then should have taken account, they should have foreseen the occurrence, the possibility of this happening. Now, be that as it may, all is not lost. Even in the current moment, as Professor Kutubu said, we get 3 branches of the government. Only one is functional, the executive. So President Biya has carte blanche, which the executive, they just do everything they want because there are no checks and balances. Parliament is asleep on the wheel. The judiciary is non-existent. Nobody challenges, even what would they complain but so. It can be challenged under the current constitution in the court of law. Taylor Pierce doesn't have to roll over and play dead. She can defend herself vigorously by going on the offensive. But the offensive means you have to take the government on constitutionally in the legal system. That is not happening. So there's plenty of blame for go around. This is not the disaster where the country finds itself. This is the problem in the country. You get motorcar, now only one tire get air, the other 3 no get air. How to drive this motorcar properly on the road? When we get 3 branches, now only one they function. Parliament does they do what you would call rotorata, and all of them, not because they don't know any better. Don't get me wrong. These guys know, these are well-educated people. They know what they're doing. Now, the calling they not get because the motivation for going to Parliament, not to for serve, not to for help country, not to for do the right thing. These are well-educated people. They are no fools, but they find themselves in a very powerful position where they can get rich instantly. They can rub each other's back.
And that is the problem, sir. That is the problem with our
so that's where there lies the problem. This is the problem.
That is
so in Parliament,
problem.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So everybody become an obstructionist. So if Telepias want to do the right, anybody who want to do anything that is close to being right, you are an obstructionist, and then go eliminate you physically or procedurally or administratively because you do obstruct them.
And this is why President Obama say, forget to build a good nation, you get to get good infrastructures in place. You get to get a good system. If we don't get it, how will we go forward when we see them here they happen? But let me give the caller then chance too. Professor, I'll bring you next. Let me give the caller then chance quick. Caller, good evening, afternoon, what's in your name and who shall you come from, please? Hello, caller. Good evening. Name, please, and who side you call from? Okay, another hear them. They on day, they listen, they hear. Caller, good evening. Name, please, and who side you call from? Yes, go ahead, sir.
Hello, man. Do you get me clear, man?
Yes. Go ahead, please. What's your name? Who side you call from, please?
Thank you. So, Thank you so much. This is a caller where everybody know. But waiting, I can say we don't come back again with Alibaba and the 41 thieves where they come for drain the swamp. Then people there, so we always they tell and say, let's start up first with the old thing about Samura Kamara. When something happened and take and quick, we get something in a fire disaster and try for set another confusion for take Samura Kamara for Krango anti-corruption for thief win and thief the thief. Let we come out today again. This not the cancel the left for you. We come out again, then cancel immediately where MCC reports, then say then shoot them out, then come out and go for Lagatelopia. For no reason, God knows, because the thief don't boku, the woman know the set him out, and that make a like woman. Because when they stand, nobody know they take them out.
Be careful.
Tell them say, come again?
Go ahead.
They tell them say, the thief don't boku. Them Alibaba boys there so. Una one game then one player so una stop. Then go for them. Before that, they may want for make a give with false report. And you know say na a trouble and na a problem inside accounting when you present false information for you stakeholders then over your coming, where you know say your coming they go into liquidity, but yet still you still give false information. Now biggest problem than they come out and sack the lady, then they try for build up their own image. How you they build up image outside? We inside your own house. The messy game is so it's like you are walking on top of a shell. When you know say as you muscle you the sink over. What they try for build up some kind crazy image outside where they not deal with the inside force. But let I go quick to Mr. Kutubu. Mr. Kutubu, no disrespect, sir. I see you they talk say, well, let we bring back waiting may happen towards when this guy may sack in vice president. But I think say when I talk say this is a new direction. Everything will become like a style painting when we not go back to all them past the day. Why una they take me back na them past things and they say, well, because of this we don't do one, we didn't say for do one. This we don't do this, so we say for go for this. Is that not a best game? Is that not a bad incident zone that is said? So where is the new direction is going? And secondly, the 1991 constitution where they decide for invoke over Lagatelopia. Me I can defend that. Lawyer Chidon, sir. I believe say you yourself able to testify that. On what grounds? When they say the 1991 constitution where they want invoke, you know, let's tell you something. You know, one of them people there, so where they say the land book. You know, say yesterday, oh no, Mr. B about email. Now they talk say, oh, they can't say people right? So all the time make way that they make so, like I tell PS got all the rights to sue them in court and defend clean and complete.
Mr. Bia.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, caller. The caller say we don't come back. He say almost have been named, but he say we don't come back again. So, Professor, he make a thing to you. I want you chance to make you.
Oh yeah, well, I need for address him very quickly. First of all, me and this caller, me and to know one day sit down we discuss politics for let you know who side are they. See now the problem is so there when people in the Canada here come with this kind of misrepresentation, they can't hype up. Try for show them, you know, the parties and scholarship. So in the process, Kutubu not get nothing for do this. This is not a question where if for be particularized to peers. So me not even see how Kutubu feature inside this. But added to that, how the bank will even can put partisan label on me. So we need for let we audience or the people what they call please. If you get any other column, please not do outside this program. We don't talk repeatedly, not do outside this. Now they address the issues and I know they put a lay. He did it. The station not be ever so you guys want to come Kutubu na part of this. Kutubu na I not be there. I not be there. So they appealed, to me, to the listeners
So,
then.
for the last time,
Please,
sir.
left
For
me
the
out of
last time,
this.
sir, I want
Miss
to
Fatima.
let you tell the people. I want you to tell the people because they keep accusing you, say you're not SLPP. I want you to
No,
tell
Miss
the
Fatima.
people that they can say,
Miss Fatima.
What you all tell you, man? What you all tell you?
May
no,
I
no, no, no,
interrupt?
no.
May I
Yeah,
interrupt?
1 second, sir. I just want to make it clear to review them because they keep accusing you of saying you not SLPP, na una,
Exactly.
na una, na una. So that's why I want you.
Exactly.
That's
Are
why.
you
That's that's the reason why I want to interrupt, though. I don't think it's an
Okay.
accusation.
So, Mr.
Please permit
Shilon,
me.
if they say
Yes,
something,
ma'am.
sorry for the.
I think there is a misunderstanding on both sides based upon me own humble comprehension. The caller, they use Professor Kutubu in reference to the firing of the former Vice President Bahanes Kuruma, as in your process or in your argument is Professor Kutubu is implying, wrongly so, I don't agree with him at all, that because that was wrong, so what in BO do now is wrong, is right, or it is implied by implication. They say two wrongs don't make it right. Just because Anas Kuruma do that, not then say BO for do the same thing. Now that is called I ain't to say. But not to that the professor say, oh, Professor Kutubu is here, but I just want to make sure I talk before he clarify what you may understand. The caller is wrong in the analysis in saying that the professor is playing politics, or none of that was the point. The point I think he's saying is that the professor used what he misunderstand as an example, because Professor DeChalk say now because of the precedent, the bad laws will get in place. Now they lead to what they happen now. That may understand and say, I don't think they accuse Professor, say Professor na SFPP or APC. I don't think that's an accusation. I think it's a misinterpretation of the professor in reference to the firing of Sam Sumana. That may understand and to say. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, yeah. So, Professor, finish what you say.
Well, like we say, me advice to we listeners, let we please avoid, parties and label, not to that we care for. We can for discuss issues. And I obviously get the right for belong any side I want belong. Now they don't make it very clear. The Constitution give me that right there. But let that not be the basis of can I get the right for belong any who I want to. Okay. Now me choose for belong to green, white, and blue. Now let me choose. But for that person just you make that kind of a settled assumption in when a new direction when I say, no, I take umbrage to that. I really take umbrage. You're not going to talk with that kind of attitude. Me and nobody not sit down say well now we direction is so they go. Oh no, now that me I mean where you can talk generally on the issue, but not label me. When me want I'll come open and tell anybody who said a day. I'm not afraid nobody because I get that right today. But we are in the process, the people they're angry with Mr. Bio. I know for belong. One day me and Bio will not see eye to eye. One day we are not make fool. One day. They don't kind of this country so many times, but deliberately refuse for go side today. Deliberately are not they go there. Neither are not they listen to even some of the other economy. I don't. So there, I want to let we listeners and listen to this today. And going forward, let them please lump it all together. Please, and take go and have a big everybody there. Back to you, Auntie Farima.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me go to another caller. Mr. Shiller, anything else?
No, ma'am.
No, sir. Okay, next caller, please. Good evening, caller. What's your name? Who's the call from? Hello, caller. Good evening. Name and who's the call from, please. Caller, are you there? What's your name and who's the call from? If we not get the caller already, if you know they come on, or I don't know what's going on. Okay, we lost the caller. Well, then we can go for another topic quick before we round up. We see on social media, Professor do a show, and for una where they watch we, before we show every Sunday now, we don't get a new show one-on-one with Kutubu Koma. And the interview of Mr. Mansare when an SLPP man, and they talk on the infighting of SLPP. But one of the talk there where they bring come inside, now this Prince Adin, Dr. Prince Adin, in case where they not gone right now. And we know say in June, sometime in June, a young man, when a supporter and worker, as the man say, and they work for Dr. Adin don't follow around, and they support Batilo Songa. Because of that, they don't make threats, say they go kill him. So sometime in June, this man was shot. He was shot, and they can go hospital and shoot him. This man can die. So this man now don't die. The Pope. Then we see some other man that come on social media. They say make a video, talk on Prince Adin, don't say he go kill them all. So then they plead to President Bio. They say they're not SLPP supporters. They say they're not there for the party because they're not they work for Prince Adin again. Prince Adin say he go kill them one by one. This is what the people are saying. So they say that they plead to President Bio for save them because they don't know who is next because their party don't die. He has been killed. He has been murdered. And so after that now, we are the mama of this guy will die. CID called Prince Adin. We get the rule of law. Nobody is above the law. Prince Adin come out na CID, he sleep na CID one day, he come out, we go carry in statement where he give. Because he give in own statement where he come on at the thing, he say blah, 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 we go carry for myself. So now we begin first with the 98.1 in first interview because we get a picture of the guy when they call Don Pope, where young guy we lost in life. He claims say he been drive for Prince Adin, he have a Prince Adin driver, he work for Prince Adin, and then he died. And let we play the 98.1 first. Let we hear what in 98.1 say.
I greet the people there. Good afternoon. I greet you now in the name of one country, one people. We believe in the ideology of the new direction and the leadership of His Excellency Itad Brigadier Julius Magabio. May God continue for bless him and lead them the right way. They do not allow bad people them for influence. The people them today na a born issue kautola. Mo they talk to na mina Alusan Kabo, the former personal assistant to Dr. Prince Adin and the former regional publicity secretary northwest of the Salone People's Party. Today we don't lose a brother. But before I go further, I want the members of Mbako sit down before me. When I want me to serve Prince Adin, may they introduce themselves.
Me na Dennis Ganda. Me na the former media communication man for Dr. Prince Alex Harding.
Me na Joseph S. Abu, they normally call me Sivali. Me na the driver for Prince Adin. And my brother will die in the coast protection and travel to Prisadi.
Yes. Me na Alfandrano Molda, me na the coordinator for Friends of Prisadi. The coordinator for Friends of Prisadi na both Southern Province.
Me na Hassan Mara, former security to Prince Alex Hardin. As a me na be old soldier now.
So many people then at this we don't know everybody is done answer. Today we don't lost a brother we not done pull. This man we all know the answer we serve beside him with all everything what it takes for make him become chairman and take the SFP kind of power. Most I know they will not go sleep night, eat don't pull and we driver. We do everything possible to left for family there. We do everything possible for the normal to succeed. But then today, I kill back the defense for kill we. Don't die. Dr. Pisadi threatened we after 2 years. He don't give me fake promises. They say we'll give you a good job there. Now they do well. It's why I'm even telling my Kenny. They do fine. He said I can be here. We all now. Want me to do fine. We all join out. We go give you a good job. They begin to tell me say not trying to get job. No go to HE. They say now give them the gear job. We accept. Any say we go back and then they make we get job. He say then they cost me. When I don't get a job, I lost job 3 sides. I not get job. Then we buy all any say them go then they spoil them. But still we continue with the good faith. Nobody no go pull in at the SLPP. But for let somebody die, he threatened Abobo. He don't threaten we all life. Say Abobo don't die. Everybody now also don't receive threat from this man. Don't die. So everybody don't receive threat from this man. But I want to get my brother and self the talk.
As I tell you now, the people there, Leone'S Auditor, we serve Queens from 2016 to 2020, over 3 to 4 years. Then who can in governance win the power, he able get the position as chairman and NATCOM, and will do down there for we. From we win up to now. After 6 months to 1 year, we will act Queens. Just as the boss don't say, they still don't change the job, then we come up here now for job. So end politics, a better one at this one day. And for we don't weeks you life, they recognize you, then you get a reward. So Queens, we do down the all for them. And then we reward you. So we self, we left farm. And when we left farm, we make remarks, we take away. They talk them before don't pull they die. They say they make sure say we will be very close to her. We don't left her so. They make sure say it'll go after we one by one. We name them and list. We wait one damage. Yes. We fight for Prince Hardin like say we will not get life unto Mama born me. We sacrifice we life there for Prince. So now don't pull, don't die. We don't know who that we will be next. And from yesterday, couldn't pull out my CID. And Bobo then they call we different strange numbers and they threat away. And they threat away life. So wait till one go for appeal. All the person who trust in this country here, we go protection. And HE Mother Bill. His Excellency to your Mother Bill. We need your help. We need your protection. Can we aid? Let protect you. One part we don't die. We don't know who that next. We are sir. So now that's someone there for you. Thank you all.
Stakeholders of the party, the grassroots of the party. As long as we watch who will die, we are members of this party. I feel so we don't do everything for this party gonna govern us. Equally, a collective responsibility. Now, brother don't die. Tomorrow will be with any other person out there. Now, so when I go watch Prince Hardin for continue, for kill this party a good name. Now, so when I go watch you, Lord will die. We believe in you, HE, and we know that you.
SLPP chairman Dr. Prince Hardin bin give order to insecurity officer for make them shoot him, but the SLPP chairman bin deny this allegation, and this man bin then at the emergency hospital. Outside President Bill bin go see this man and be promised say he go take care of the hospital bill, and Sef bin ask the Salone police for look inside this case. Saturday, November 6, report reach Radio Democracy say Mohamed Kourouma not be able for survive the operation after we the doctor been pull bullets them Panam. We be make Radio Democracy bin go waka to the family. Now the exact situation this Radio Democracy be meet, now the host who side this 40-year-old man been there. The first person where we been talk to na the family, na Jeneba Kooma. When I don't pull in mama and be tell we how we be feel, the time where he be get the message say, they not shoot him Pekin. This woman been they talk inside Mende, but we been do voice over.
Wey Prince Adin don warn me pikin say if he no comot BNN, he go kill am. So I call me pikin and warn am for make he comot BN Prince Adin, and me pikin be assure me say he go comot BNN. And from that incident day, me pikin be assure me say he go comot BN Prince Adin, and I been believe am and I been forget about this case. Past one fine day, June 29, afternoon 10, where I sit down na me host. Me phone me ring and where I pick this call. And the noise in the background. Also, I want me family. He passed me the phone. And where the person will call me can talk. If he tell me say, they don't shoot you Pekin. And this be me. I take transport and kind of fit 110. And carry police case to the police. And I be take me Pekin go to hospital. And the way me Pekin condition be there, it be painful.
This mama to this 40-year-old man say, now it's waiting on me time. He no gets power again. And the only thing where in things say, in go take out with na justice where the law forgive. After we have done all the police case na police, I just so bulan. We know about this case. Usa ibi say, na chook them to me Pekin. And during the time, when we Pekin be na hospital, I be see plenty bullets for me Pekin body. And me Pekin, we dey suffer bad one na hospital. Where we make the president, Dr. Julius Malabio, we go work at me Pekin hospital and be promise for the justice for the case. And from where police been take statements for me, nothing not happen. So me Pekin love die in hospital. And this make I dey call on President Bio and other authority dem for say dem give justice inside this me Pekin in that case. After this incident, the Salone police been tell the family say na chook them be chook down pole, but medical reports where Radio Democracy gets from the emergency hospital show say na bullets them be pulled by this 40-year-old man we been die. The Salone police no be able for confirm or defend this to Radio Democracy the time where we been do this story. So we talk to Hassan Mara we been there as witness the time where this incident be happen na the SLPP party office.
Me don't post it on. Now grab. Now I tell don't post. I say no say Prince Harry get win our time for more left farm. He get beefing for we. So lot come on at this scene. So together with the Tom who bag for common. Now here say hey they don't know what happened Prince Harry. So all what he can do now he turn he see me don't put him up. Now he say now don't put away the water. Now order insecurity. When now Chilos Amara one Delta police way the water. Now we go take that police na headquarter. They tell who they serving the Prince Harry we say one more security. So now order the Chilos Amara for let's shoot them. And back now waste time again. If we get one piece to Nayan, now he set around. A shoot big Dompo before me eye. What the IG so what I do now? This matter he go lie. He say na chook Dompo. Not to chook Dompo. Now shoot the police and shoot him. So don't have this part to the to President Bio need justice for Dompo. As I talk me on life there as risk. Because Prince Harry and me Dompo he want. Me Prince Harry don't jail me. He don't jail right now as I talk to you. I then a court number 2 at the attend court. That same incident. IG so what I go to me now court back. For what I go in police and shoot Dompo. Why go save Dompo? I go the 17 back na court. I still in a court. IG not justice, not do justice for Dompo. So I cry to President Bio. We need justice for Dompo.
Mohamed Kooma left 3-year-old boy Pekin, where in West they say now, in the get challenge for take care of the Pekin, more especially when in daddy been defend for the family.
Mina don't pull you with, we born the Pekin when they call Prince Alex Kooma. This Pekin also for more Punadwa and this man in him now give this Pekin. We born the Pekin I know when. My condition not fine. Mama lost me man and running. No Pekin is so far. Me take care of me. My government meant for me. Me making them suffer. Small picking up when they suffer.
Radio Democracy be same way so get information say Dr. Prince Adin been spend one night na the criminal investigation department, and inside one video clip where Dr. Prince Adin be make with the social media in say in an no the pardon poll in that one. We been try forget the head of the criminal investigation department and the head of crime services for make them tell we waiting make Dr. Prince Adin be spend one night na the CID headquarter, but we no be able to forget them for make them go respond with support from
I say thank you for all the support God has given to me. God bless you, sir. During this trying times, I'm the most unhappy. I just want to say, I've been disgraced, I've been molested, I've been persecuted for what I stand for this party. I've suffered for this party, and I've done so much for this party. Indeed, today I'm being persecuted on hearsay, concocted reports, etc., etc. But God is on my side. And the party, God is on our side. I will assure you, I will give my support to this party. And let the truth be revealed. I leave my own to God. As I always talk, I believe in God. You know, the God we serve is a strong tower unto which the righteous shall run into and be safe. That is my safety. That's why I stand. Understand? Yes, I know what happened here from days back. Samura demonstrated here, incited people. Samura was not arrested. I did not do anything like that. You understand? Just to reduce you. They have come to molest me. At the same time, molest the party, disgrace the party. I've summoned them to the Almighty God. Whoever is involved in this, God will take my God said, the vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I'll tell you, let us stay calm, cool, and look towards the leadership of the party. I'm going to work on this party. Believe in me, so long I'm in charge, with God being my help, APC is going to lose this election big time.
Maybe when I don't read the video, then Professor, I want to you first because you just do a thing inside the SLPP, the infighting. And this fight is between Prince Adin and the other guy, what's his name again? Latilo Songe, where they try for one for chairmanship. And this man comes out, people in the crowd and picking not lost. They don't accuse this man, Prince Adin. Not on the first episode. There's another mini election where they all constituency one something where this man come out, the chairman or whatever will come out, the person will be the one say Prince Adin send talks, then they say them for kill him, the man get for hide up news. There was this video I think will play when they go around on social media, and now they don't make her of murder. This man comes from CID, and the speech where he give kind of a little bit, disturbing, and he comes out there and he say, oh God, 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 God. Then they try to set her up, did not even acknowledge the death of somebody else, but refer to bring in Samoa Kamara in own case inside here where they don't get where they say Samoa Kamara go na police, they not na CID, they don't detain them, in the detain them, they want bring them party down. All he was talking about is party. Somebody died, somebody's child died. Who are you for let them call you a CID? If the CID feels say they want to bring the admin, they want to bring SLPP down, that's why the CID, because that those are his words. That they try to bring the party down, but in don't fetch for the party, no work for the party, and then go win against APC. We they pass the blame on. We don't take responsibility of the things we do. We're not used for answer because that's what it looks like. You are not used to answer. You are this man that is above the rule of law. With CID not for detain you because they don't do you wrong, because they detain you for keeping for ask you more question because somebody's child got shot and you are accused of giving the order to shoot and kill this person. You talk this not to the Mr. Mansare, the SLP guy. Wanna do an interview, and this man said the defense say then they try for set up Prince Adin and they bring in the vice president, saying that then they do with Batilo because the vice president they try for take President Bill in job. That's a very, very deep. If you're not listening to that interview, with people, I wanna go back na VOSA platform. The show with it before we show, and this man talk, and I was like, this is deep, this is serious. This is serious than we didn't look on the top. But somebody's child died, and this is what the thing what this president said. What you say, but all what you also so all what you don't so what you get for saying of this, you can also you just done an interview with Mr. Mansare from
The first question we go and ask, considering the gravity of this thing, we will see so. The one that we've been there around Usai, Mr. Harding, that garden where they get before even allegedly make the statement say that they should deport. They want to talk say all that told them needed nobody in phone, not in the work, they not be they record nothing. That are the very first thing. Where they mean that gathering, because usually it's always how they call it, where people they can then a gathering and they record things there. I mean, we don't see the boku and they record things there. So the fundamental question we me get all that time they nobody not record nothing. The sound, from there where the man been there, where they talk. Now only way you don't issue the when they come, say where he say let them shoot somebody because luckily, Mr. Salone, and as a lawyer, he go on look into this because what do you know happen there? And like you say, we will get a guest today. We will get a guest we come today. He can put up a passionate plea on behalf of Dr. Harding. Why, he deride the vice president. So, in other words, what you see now the battle of the wheels. Now we see in the plan. So all man not send people them how for. Lay out it. It's not already lost somebody. So again, if when I go record, and so be friends say will if accuse me of being an SLPP people then. If they record, I've been talking about the fact say the logic of lawlessness I don't grip the country. To the point we don't get leadership in the country because even way we be deeper that today, I try for bringing the lack of leadership, but the man not being too care about that. What to be careful for defend Mr. Dr. Harding because we live in a society where now a free for all, now an animal farm mentality, nobody not in charge, survival of the fittest. These are the things that we go through. People's lives are lost with reckless abandon. Recklessly. Anybody can do anything. So once you stand on my way, the only way therefore, you get eliminated. This is not the society this until we return for be a society where the only two way define we as civilized people then we get for accepting law and order now go be with modus operandi. We get for determine say Nobody na you officer or you personality don't mean anything na you know mean. What's important na the supremacy of the law na important na. Whether na you na the president or na you na the party chairman or na you na the ambassador, you know mean nothing. Where there are infractions of principles, where you don't infringe on the law must be brought for bear on you. But unfortunately, we live in a society with that though, because in a grave case, the guy that also when the man not talks to, what if they ask for evidence? Assuming this case go to court, they ask for evidence. A smart like you say, una all because una they at daggers come, una they at the battle of you, say una all don't make up the story. A smart lawyer can convince you. But where the recording we hear when Kutubu they talk, say, look up, hear the video, hear the voice now, we say that they kill that man, it's not open a closed case. But as I say, sum up, all this what is so the antecedent to all of this, that the logic of lawlessness in the country, nobody know they will not get leadership in the country. Mr. Bio has hopelessly failed for providing much needed leadership for Salone. Now we could use all this. So back to you guys.
So, Mr. Shilon, Professor, talk of evidence. We will see when that term for how they call this Connaught Hospital, when a medical staff was trying to record, we see where they joke in phone line and for not for record. And this thing happened as a lawyer, because Professor presents the case, people can come back say where the evidence. But then we have eyewitnesses that we don't talk. Even 98.1, there was an eyewitness. We don't give account of waiting happened. He say then somebody to what happened presiding, or when not see presiding they come now party office them in there. And could it be also there might be no evidence because they take the phone and everybody and the incident don't happen say let nobody know all man then delete all man in phone or record it. It can be, we don't know. It can be saying a lie and a lie, it can be saying I went in a call, but somebody got killed and somebody was shot at the party office. Then we have the police commissioner who say, oh no, they're not shoot them or not stab somebody. What the medical record, the medical report acquired by 98.1 say he was shot. He was shot. And then we get a bunch of guys then. And I always say they use our people in the game of pawn. When you play the chess in a game of chess, they are the pawns. These guys, the way they lost their lives, so now they're not the pawn. Because they go to them, they promise them all this, whatever, they use them, and then when they don't need them, things happen. So this now allegedly, they say that he killed. And the guy, before he died, he talks, say, that Prince Adin shoot him. And then eyewitness don't come out now, we don't give evidence to 98. And then we see the other boy that we don't talk. What do you will say about that? Because Professor make a point there where he say where the evidence them way up in nobody know they will get recorded because this is at the age of social media and phone and recording and all that stuff. What do you say, sir, as a lawyer, where you see this case with all waiting and calls there? Mr. Salone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I will not say there was no evidence. There was evidence because eyewitness testimony and evidence. It just boiled down to the gentleman who we seen in the video. We say in day with this the deceased. When they see Prince Adin come, then decide for say, well, we know say like we let it go. When they turn their back, water to it and Prince Adin. Then Prince Adin turn around and look at these two guys, the figures that they were taken from the order in security for shoot. That is eyewitness account of what happened. And he say, then he named the person where he order, he named the person where do the shooting. Well, that is sufficient to establish a prima facie case against Prince Adin and the person where do the shooting. Now, there could be a variety of reasons why no one might have thought about recording, because everything happened, based upon what you may understand, instantaneously. You know, he came, people start walking away. There will have been no justification for start recording because there was nothing dramatic happening. Then whoever it was who threw water at the minister or this Dr. Prince Harding immediately triggered a reaction that led to someone being shot, who eventually died. So the time for doing a recording will not have existed at all. And even if you wanted to record after the fact, you will have been scared to death and say, let me get the crap out of here. But there is an eyewitness. We just see that the video, we see Mbede with his deceased before he was shot. So in testimony, in account of what happened is vital. There may be other corroborating witnesses then that we don't know of, because the TV station they talk about an eyewitness. Again, we don't know whether that's another eyewitness or whether it's the same person we just see now the video. So there is evidence. There is no question about that. But the point what made the link towards, how can the chief of police get it so wrong? How can he be saying the man was stabbed, which doesn't make any difference in the outcome of the crime, whether he was stabbed or hit with a stick or he was shot? The fact of the matter is an assault was committed that led to the death of somebody. So I don't even understand why it makes such a difference to the chief of police. But how can he be so wrong that all the evidence point to gunshot? You know, against overwhelming evidence indicate a stabbing. Credibility matters. This is where you can't help but for criticize the president, because these things reflect on the president. So when you get a police chief who they give misleading or false information to the public with respect to the occurrence of a crime, that is not good for the country. That's not a healthy sign at all. Okay, then the other problem with this situation, Dr. Harding get released from the CID. And he started talking about party politics. Try for spend more time for defending himself, for say, I have nothing to do with the crime, I don't order anybody, I don't shoot anybody. And it go in a surreptitious way now, talking about how we not dedicate in life to the SLPP. So now, in a moment of trouble, the SLPP should come to his rescue. And I love when people in Kinlek use God the name in some spacious way like that. You know, it's a good thing the Lord will decide, they take we seriously. But this has nothing to do with party support, party politics. It has a lot to do with whether he committed a crime or not. Is this eyewitness who we've seen at this video, is he credible? Has his statement been taken? Have they spoken to other eyewitnesses? Because according to in statement, there were others there. It just happened for be sitting next to the deceased. So there is a credible case to be made against Prince Harding. No question about that. And now, Ms. Fadima, you talk about the earlier interview Professor Kutubu conducted with the man from Holland. I listened to the whole thing because on my phone. I was a little troubled that he is only concerned with defending one person against the other. He talks about the vice president want to be the president. You know, there are certain things about human beings I don't understand. My question is, what is wrong if a vice president has aspiration for be president? And why shouldn't he? And the fact that a Fulaman, no matter if he wasn't, if his tribe wasn't necessary to point out as a negative for him to be vice president. Why does it matter now that he referred to him as the one full of a takeover? So I'm a little bit suspicious of the accounting day and talking about then they try for set up Prince Harding. That doesn't sound too credible to me. And even if it is, I don't think this is going to be the right forum for him to say that, because he obviously shows some bias. He obviously show one-sidedness. So that's my own problem. And with that gentleman, where he talk about the infighting, but he seemed to already have taken sides and doesn't even seem to think that Prince Harding has done anything wrong. You know, and I even try to make a case for Prince Harding for say he could not have been the one, he could not have done it, and here is why. He not even waste time on that or spend time on that because he considered it's a waste of time. He just take a position and the vice president in your group with some other group where they try for where they work against Prince Harding using a young man there. But in answer to your question, Ms. Fadima, I think he can be prosecuted. I'm surprised very little or nothing is said about the person who actually do the shooting. You know, the security guy wait and say he order we do the shooting. But who wants a country like that? When I say something against even the president, that you go order your security, I don't attack you, I don't say anything, I don't attack you verbally, just because you don't like me, or I say something you don't like, you go order your security. This poses a big danger to everybody. And President Bio needs to control that situation there. Because lawlessness, the next thing you know, now vigilantism. And this vigilante will lead to nothing but civil unrest. So when you get a police chief like Sovula, who is engaged in perpetuating criminality, if not to house people in the thief way, they cover for them. If not to land people in the thief way, they cover for them. It now cover for a police officer, for a politician, when if play an independent role, and tell investigators them, simple instruction, let the chips fall where they may. When a police, don't take sides. But this is how bad the country is, and this is how worse it's getting. We'll not see any movement to sanity. We'll not see anything to progressiveness. We'll not see any attempt by this government or the previous one for lead this country into the next century. We're just doing the same thing over and over. Last but not least, in comparison, Mr. Harding, in comparison to Samura, I think that's a ridiculous comparison. You've been accused of committing a crime, of having shot someone, or ordered someone to shoot. A shooting that led to the death of somebody. You just say, hey, somebody who they accused of corruption, which is a loaded word. We don't even know what the facts are. They say they issue indictment against a person for corruption. So that person go to CID, you say he should have been detained? On what basis? Because he was not detained, the party let you down? Where the thing that they accuse you of actual physical harm having been done to somebody. And you see, that shows you the quality of leadership where Sierra Leone, the neutral. When you get a leader like that, when I saw you think, it compare murder to corruption and demanding that treatment careful be equal of the accused, that concerns me, But then it roll this politics into it and say, he always support the party. Now the party for put aside the law. And what you would emphasize on this show is law and order should be the order of the day. No democracy will run right. Because every power way the current government gets is temporary. I don't care how they manage them. It cannot be forever. So what's going to happen when I lay all them bad foundation here? Then we're not in a power again. But the foundations are, Well, that's what we see what President Bio to do right now. He ordered the suspension of the Auditor General by laws where they're in place long before in kind of power. This is the thing. This is what we keep telling people them. Make good laws so it will survive the test of time. But these politicians that we have don't look at governance that way. It's all what is convenient at the moment. And as long as that's the case, we will keep repeating these mistakes and we will never, ever make any attempt at progress because we are not, the one that we're in power not seem to care about making any progress. Thank you.
Okay. Professor, to you again, sir. Because we can't wrap up, we don't pass to our...
Mr. Shilon not come. The long and short of the argument is, the be all and end all is, we go only begin to see light at the end of the tunnel. All right or not, parliament not renewal, people doing presiding, allegedly getting involved in giving order for letting keep people there. All of these things they will not talk today, all boil down to one thing. Salone become a society of hoodlums, outlaws, everything else but law, everything else. This now the state this was Salone. Law and order don't mean anything. So in other words, now the animal farm mentality, now the jungle mentality. When they say, but we na jungle na come out, they're going to the jungle, they don't know law and order, not anybody can do anything. The question that we'll get for us to say, one remain like this, say we'll get accident to not be able, carry EMS people, they go, we fire force people not be able to go there, we police don't go there, we not go get water for hot the fire, we not go do this, people they don't go thief at the scene and nothing. No, we don't want this. What we want be one for civil self as an egalitarian and just society. Society where people will be very proud of what to go do. Now Lancaster House 1960, culminating to independence on April 27, 1961. Who tell the people that so we will govern ourselves. So the only way all of this will be able to, and be consolidated into context and perspective again, finally again, we get for be a nation of laws where everybody they under everybody from we where they sleep na Kinjime Market to the one where they sleep na State House. We all, you know that. We can forget about it. We're there from Monday till Osama bin Laden come back for be president of the United States at the same place we were there. So now me over that.
That means the struggle continues unabated without an end. But we're hopeful. We're hopeful. We're hopeful. In our lifetime, before me and you die, with a hope and with a belief for say, we voice them what they put, it will go into something, it goes for done good years, where they go out for clean because Obama say we get for build strong institutions. And because a country that has no strong institution, where the rule of law not work, where the executive branch get all the power, where the parliament not represents the people and make laws that is good and for look out for the people, when the judiciary is not working, when we self they fetch we self, when parties then don't become everything is politicized. Everything, everywhere we go, everybody that look for favors without working hard. I mean, we are a mess. We're gonna say it. Salone a mess. Salone is a mess. And when the people, the unity, freedom, and justice, that is the scale where the Witsman made, where they been begin. Then put on there we coat of arm, then put the lion, then put the scale middle, then put on there, they say unity, freedom, and justice for all. If we don't get that in a society, if justice and peace now they go together, if justice not there, peace not there, if peace not there, outside justice not there, peace not there, we get for work, we get integrity. People should be held accountable for bad things until we begin to put the things in place. Some of these things are on paper. We don't write them down, but we're not ready yet. And I say again, we know that yet we need a radical change, and we need a leader. When I can say I'm again, zero tolerance of foolishness. For now, we go to the next level. Because all this world they see, so we play in house. But these are people's lives. These are people's livelihood. A country for being able to account to the people of Sierra Leone. We are a country of laws. We for able for us, we forget access, for able for us, waiting this do and waiting this not do. Who that in our right for we vote, we for be able for vote the right people that when they can't give we waiting and call. Our democracy has been hijacked by parties. Our democracy has been hijacked because we're not growing. It's the same foolishness. And we have all dirty politicians doing this. They're remnants of what's in an unfinished business that they can't make. We need new people in governance. We need new people in these parties because we have good men in the both SLPP and APC. We get good men. We go for just change the ideology, change the sound, change the music. We have good people. Other parties are there. We should make independent party. We can't sweep away and take away. Let these other people know without them, Sierra Leone can still go forward. We need new people. We don't need all these old criminals. We don't need all these old criminals, the same ideology, the same manipulating and corrupt ways that they do stuff, the same way when they sit on the way because their pockets they full. People then they go work, they know they get paid. People then they fail one mondonges a day. It's a struggle. Middle class don't vanish. School is nothing. President Bill said quality education. We get to say they try for make education, but the education is not quality. Long term, they get government school them. Then they feed the picking them municipal school. Teachers were good. Teachers were getting paid. Teachers were qualified teachers. Because some of these teachers, they just go school no more, they not pass, but they make them teacher. We go for clean all that. The country is a mess.
Mm-hmm.
The country is a mess. Our institutions, we get every institution, we get the civil servant, them back. We're corrupt. We're corrupt. We are corrupt. And we make it like it's okay. No, it's not okay. If we want the change, we got to fix it. We got to fix them. If we don't fix them, the struggle continues unabated. You know, it is sad. It is sad for see somebody don't lost in life. They accuse somebody just like how they go do to Pal Mami or Mami, you know, or Mami Mariama, or Auntie Joko. How they go do to common man? Everybody else get for face the law if something what they call just like how they accuse people them of doing things. Then they go stand before the law for ask questions. Who are you to say, oh, they're not doing to this, they're doing to this? Is what I'm talking about. This is not the thing they want to talk about because people them feel say they don't get title, they don't get started, they above. You know that not me, you shall do that not me, who that not you for can't make me this. You there above the law. Because the Bill say by the AU, when they say the police corrupt, he said that the leadership, but here the leader of the police lying, say that chook them, but when medical reports, they show otherwise, that he was shot. That he was shot. But yet the police commissioner stand there and say, oh, no, not chook them, nobody not shoot her. Can you imagine? That's the leadership where President Bill say choose. When you talk again, President Bill never take charge. He's not taking charge. He's letting things happen. And then we say we make the image of the country, image of the country, image of the country. We try to build the image of Salone. With these things are happening. All these things are happening. You know, our democracy has been hijacked by a group of people. In Sierra Leoneans, we can take our country back. We can take our country by voting for the people that are going to win the change for improve your life. You know, go born poor, mommy poor, picky poor, daddy poor, grandpicky poor, poor. Lord have mercy. Una no wants better. Una no wants more. Why are we stuck here? Because we cannot go back to our countries. We are there feeding our people. Some people, they come out to nothing, but they forget, say, their brother and their sister, and they go through the same plight. But yet we seem to condemn and clap for the parties. Why? Because we are brave, not butter, because we don't support their soul. Because we support their soul. We don't forget, say, we said in a village, you said and neglect you. Because you don't get an opportunity. God in grace don't come upon you. You don't fail yourself and then sire. A country where you will work and get paid. A country where you will speak freely. A country where you get health care. A country where you eat. A country where you get water for drink. The only time when you light will go off or you water now when disaster day or you not pay your bill. But yet, we they support them, dirty politicians there. Old, dirty, corrupt politicians. We need new minds. We need new people. We need young people. We need young people for can rule we now. Let me give the young one a chance. What did the president, the Sojaman Nagini do? He tell the people that nicely. They all want that we don't sit on our office, we don't sit on our this. He said, we tell them that thank you for our service. We tell them thing, but don't give chance now to the young one. Them we let them now respect my talk. Tell them fine. He tell them goodbye. He put them to retirement. Let young people that we don't learn book get work. Let young people that get work. That's what he did in Guinea. Let we begin pull their own one. Let we bring the young one and come out. Let them can we go to a better direction, a progressive minds. Not to the same old politician the way they manipulate the party there. Not to the party how we sabi. When maybe the people they all not be SNPP. Not to show them in time. Good people that they inside it. For all this violence election day. 30 day APC and SNPP. I remember Kande and what they call them the first election to pass people and die. Because I'm not like you, I'm not there for you. I choose for go the other way. It don't be a problem for me. Why we for continue for accept these kind of things in our lives? Don't we deserve better? And that day I left when I let we reflect. Let me go back and think. Let me go back because I hear this man defending today. I hear this man defending. He refused to see the other side. All he was doing was defending Dr. Prince Harden. It's an allegation. Let Prince Harden go. Prove otherwise the defense don't put in case for the country don't put in case. Let Prince Harden go defend himself. He's not big for the law. He's not big past the law. So we are not there at the left on the tell appears we the watch. We all the watch. We all the see until the president say they make problem. We the watch and see because we cannot allow this to keep going on. Because you don't like what they say. Because you don't like what they do. And they pull you come out there because you know they are me waiting and call say. Unale we left them tia. Unale we discourage them tia. Unale we speak up against them tia. Because until then, we dey force. So till next week, go beyond beautiful, go beyond you. The people them, like I said, they work on them people them, the Ministry of Health, the emergency system. Then they try for give blood, donate blood. Some other people then afraid for give blood because they say if I give blood, it's not there for it. I go donate blood. You angry because yeah, you must eat something. You must be in a good standing where you go give blood. If you go give blood, it's not there for let them give. So all that thing that they will get for fix them. You know, it is sad, man. It is exhausting. It is draining. It is frustrating. Where we see every day the same rubbish. Rubbish. You know, we stuck. How do we go? We keep going in a merry-go-round. How do we go forward? So till next week, make a left one a pass on to Mr. Kutubu and then Mr. Shilon, let them go now the last word. Like I say, go make a difference. Go light somebody, like go give hope. Go give hope to your neighbor, to your friend. Kind words, let me love we said. Nothing greater than love for one another. Somebody do you wrong, self. If you're not able to do nothing, just push and far. But just say, God have mercy. Let God have mercy, Pana. Because they say, pray for your enemies. It takes strength. It takes discipline to do that. Hey, till next week, if I shine, not just me, go work on yourself. Tomorrow, The sun will shine over you, the cloud over me. So till next week, I love you all. I salute you. Fadima, I'm out. I pass on to you, Professor, then to Mr. Shilon. And then we don't for today. Thank you.
Good night.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate the contribution. Hope we will see you next week. That will follow events. And until then, good night, good morning, good afternoon to everyone, wherever you may be. Thank you.